so we got 3 weeks of stream left before the holiday, and we have I've got a like list of things we'll probably focus on this month over those 3 weeks, and I'll talk about those in a sec. But just gonna let you know, we did Juice's character sheet. It got posted last night on the Raindrop Chronicles Twitter. So really interesting character. Apparently can mysteriously travel between places. That was the thing that caught my eye about your character sheet, Juice. I think the concept of potentially having some form of that in the game, teleportation or whatever, is a pretty interesting concept, and I'd love to introduce that to Raindrop Chronicles. And Elite's character too is very much, it's pretty clear he's got sort of stuff going on, maybe outside of the world, in space, who knows. So there's definitely like some themes in that might be introduced in it, and that's exciting. And also, where's our Trello page? So we do have a Trello page now as well. I've also added the polls to our Trello page, so I'm going to be consistently doing that. I'll put for the main polls we do, I'll add those so we can like look at them and have that evidence of what the results were. We had this poll the other day, and it was pretty much confirmed. We're going to add the lemon now. So it was Elite's idea to have a lemon, and it seems that everybody agrees that lemon would be the perfect addition to the gang. So I have done the lemon's asset as well. And hi Sexy, how are you doing? And Fox, how are you guys doing today? Let's catch up with chat. What was the first thing you streamed? What was it now? Was it Dark Souls? It might have been one of the Dark Souls games, probably. But I don't know for sure whether that was my first ever. But I know that was a very early one. And a lot of people like to watch me play that because it's a hard game. Leviathan should be 2550. Oh, really? See, I was confused. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at our ranks. I'll admit, chat, that I completely had no idea what this numbered pattern was. It was like over 2 years ago when I did this, and I actually think I wasn't the one that did it. Somebody said that should be how I do it, so I did do it. I was a noob streamer, what can I say? And I was like, okay, so what on earth does this mean? At first I thought it was like double plus 10, but it proves it wasn't that. So I thought I'll just have it as 20k. That's the cool number. But Elite says it should be 25,500. Is that what the pattern should follow properly? Is that the official thing that's going on here? Because I don't know. I've thought about changing the numbers completely, but it could screw everything up if I do that. So I've thought probably not a good idea. It could mess up everybody's ranks, potentially, if I do that. So I'm even though I've thought about changing them, I'm not sure whether I should, whether that'd be a smart move. Yes, I saw it. Yay! Sorry you got that. You muted at the moment, but I'm just dealing with Hugo registered with a vet for when I get him. Oh, that's awesome. Bless that little pupper. And it's fine, Fox. I don't mind. I appreciate you being here. Just woke up. Hope I'm not late. Not late at all. We're only just getting started, aren't we? They all look super cute. So far, so good. Oh, Elite's a good daddy. But we'll keep it as 20k. What do you reckon, guys? I think that's not too much of an impossible number to aim for. With 25k or something like that, it might feel like a bit out of reach. And I kind of like having it end in the zeros because it's the final rank. It's the special one. But right, so back to what we was doing. So there's a few things I was mentioning. Yeah, Trello's going to have the polls on. We've still got 4 more character sheets to do. And I'll probably work over them on the next 3 weeks before the holidays. Things might be a little bit slower paced this month because it's been Christmas and I've got to do Christmas stuff and prepare for Rex's visit as well. So I have to tidy my room. So But we're still going to be having the streams on schedule as normal every Monday to Thursday over the next few weeks. So, all good. And what else shall we talk about? Oh yes, you got to see the lemon. Here's the lemon then, everybody. This is what our lemon friend is going to look like. He's perfect, yeah? He's perfect. What a cutie pie. Do you guys like him? So this is what he looks like on his Dragon Bones animation sheet. He's going to have lots of different expressions. That's his angry skill attack face. And that's when he gets hit. That's his face there. So he's a cutie pie. He actually matches quite nicely with the sword and hammer. I don't know whether we're going to use those animations for the skills. It all depends what skill ideas we end up having, because we'll have a skill discussion stream this week about this battle for sure. And we can talk about creative ideas. I know that Zexy and Fox have already come up with a few really cool ones. And I'll be bringing those ideas up, of course, when we have our skill discussion stream. I'm thinking... what day? Let me have a look at my notes, because I have made a note of what we should do this week. I'm thinking Wednesday for our skill discussion stream. So if you're curious about the ideas we have so far for the fruit battle boss mechanics, because we want to make it awesome and creative. It's our first boss. It's got to be cool. If you're curious, look in the skill discussion channel on our Discord. It will be... Where are we? I've got a bazillion tabs open, so I can't find what I'm doing. Yeah, it'll be in our skill discussion channel. Oh, no, sorry, ideas discussion, sorry. I know it was what was one of them, but yes. Usually we do discuss skills in skill discussion, but it's okay to talk about things in general anyway. It could work as that, so it's no problem at all. Right, catching up with chat. Got volume back now, yay! Welcome back, Fox. Popped a new pic into the pet channel, yay! Thank you for that. I've put some new icons in our Discord to fit with what each channel's about. I like it because I think it helps us find things quicker, and it just brings a bit of life to the Discord channel. And I've got some cute little paw prints for adorable pets. Let's have a look. Oh my goodness me. I'm going to melt. I love puppies, especially golden puppies. I mean, they're all cute. But I've just got a really soft spot for those kinds of puppies. Oh, so cute. He's got a little bear face. Bless him. Or her. Don't want to get the gender wrong. I assume it's a boy with the name Hugo. Lemon, I like him. Yay, I'm glad you like the lemon. Hi, Art. How are you doing? It's so good to see you. Guys, Art of SCS was the person that drew me. Because I know a lot of people have asked who was responsible for the amazing artwork in my banners and panel and my Merc. And he's in chat right now. So if you want anything that's very comic book themed and really high quality, he's the person to go for. He's great at that sort of stuff. And there is a link to his website in my panels as well, so be sure to check it out. 5 PM here. That looks like a super tiny pup laying on a finger. Yeah, bless him. Counterpoint to what you just said, since it's the first boss, it could be used to teach recurring mechanics to the players if there's anything that may not be obvious to the players. Yeah, so I'm really excited to discuss this. What I'll probably do is I'll get Draw.io up, and we'll make some notes and brainstorming and all that kind of stuff on Wednesday for sure. Because today, I've got another idea for today. We was doing this last stream, and I just want to spend more time deciding about Carol's companions, and so that'll probably be the next 2 streams, because I want to do some Carol companion assets as well for the ones that win the poll, and then Wednesday skill discussion for first boss. So you've got a couple of days to think about it, guys. If you get any more ideas for the skills for the first boss, or general battle mechanics, it doesn't have to be just skills, then definitely expand on those ideas in the Discord for sure. Oh, we still need a defend command. Oh my goodness, good job you mentioned commands, Ali, because the Stumpy and Carol command are officially permanent commands on the channel. I figured it might be cool to have them. So we've got Feed Stumpy. You might remember this from Stumpy's appreciation stream. So if anybody does think of any more, feel free to DM me, because I want some like cute little Stumpy actions for that command. There's only about 6 or 7 so far, so it'll be awesome to have them on. We had the Carol one as well. It was just Carol last week, but I've called it Open Carol now because I kind of like having the verb in front of the name. It feels it fits, because it fits with the Stumpy one. So yeah, that's all about getting something out of Carol. So maybe over time we'll get like a little collection of commands related to the characters. I think that would be pretty cool. So yeah, but that I'll have to do a command for that. I'll have to do a little commands command that lists all the commands so people know in case they forget. I think that could be cool. Pulls a rubber duck out of Carol the Barrel. Yeah, but there's a lot for the Open Carol command. There's a list of about 30 or 40 things that you can pull out of Carol. I want more, obviously. It'd be cool to get more ideas. So if anybody at all has some really good ideas for those 2 commands, then just feel free to DM me with ideas and I'll add them for sure. Hi Hunting Swan, how are you doing today? It's so good to see you. Hope you're having a good day. That peacock kick animation, the bat mad now. Oh yeah, Hunting Swan put something in the creative work channel, I remember now. I really think that's really cute. Oh, there's a favourites thing now in Discord. That's pretty neat. I didn't even know that. But yeah, how cute is that little pixel art? Yeah, we have a creative work channel. So if anyone here is a creative in any way, artist, writer, cosplayer, game dev, anything at all, then feel free to share your work with us. We'd love to see. The peacock is a spirit animal. Yay. Okay, so there's I was going to mention as well what we're going to focus on over the next 3 weeks. So just without rambling too much, I'll just give a brief outline. It'll be a combination of working on the first boss battle, thinking of the skills, as well as implementing them and doing lots of test plays of the battle, making sure the first boss is perfect, and as well as doing like dialogue and scenes for the fruits, their conversation before the battle and after the battle, and the painting scene and the Carol and Rose scene and Carol's flashback as well. So it's all kind of going to be a combination of doing nice scenes and working on the first boss, because that'll like really tidy up the whole Everbloom Forest main story so far once we've done that. And then in the new year, when we come back early January, we can really focus on side quests and fleshing things out, the NPCs of Lakefall, and thinking of really cool personalities for them that can link to their side quests, because the side quests will come from the NPCs of Lakefall really, and it'll be lots of fun. We can think of some really cool creative little mini story ideas that'll really flesh out the lore and of the Everbloom Forest, and that'll be lots of fun. We'll do that very early in January, I'd say, as soon as we've like done the scenes and first boss stuff. You're killing it. Thank you, Hunting Swan. Okay, so today I want to carry on what we was doing last week. I feel like it would be good to finalise this, and we was having a lot of fun doing it. I have realised something now. This poll was lots of fun, but people love them all. These votes are really close. We've got, like, if I look at the reactions now, I said that the top 4 will go through, and literally a lot of them, they've all really got, there's nothing between these votes. So what I've decided to do to make this easier for you all to vote, because I think the reason why it's hard, I don't know if you guys agree with me here, we don't know enough about these characters. We haven't been specific enough, and it's really hard to vote when you don't really know what these characters are going to be like. So what I figured we could do is flash them out and do another poll. Literally make it the same as the last poll, but just with more information about what they could be like. So we kind of was doing it last stream. People were coming up with some really cool ideas for these barrels and even some names. So I figured, at first I was like, we'll do that all later. We'll flash them out after. But now I'm thinking, no, we'll just flash them out, because people, that'll really, you know, will get like the fair vote then of which one's the coolest. And I mean, I said the four with the most votes will be the ones that go through. And I feel like that's a good number, because we're already going to have Carol's son. He's a confirmed barrel character that's in it, because the main story that we've written has confirmed his place in the story. But the other places are open, and I feel like more than 5 could be a bit too much. So we'll probably only have 4 of these go through. But I wanna like flesh out some ideas, and we already like had some last stream, so I'm gonna add those now to the ones we already know, which was the granddad and the uncle. And then we can chat about what the others could be like, and then we'll put up the poll after. Hi Gretchen Rod, how are you doing today? It's good to see you. Hope you're having a good December. Do you like my rose reindeer ears? Was entertained all weekend, so couldn't watch. Yeah, Hunting's one. I saw that you put it in the Discord as well. I'd have to check that out myself sometime too. Staying warm? Yes, I am. I've got a blankie here, and it's nice and warm. Put them all on an island, do a barrel Hunger Games. No barrels will be violent. They're adorable barrels. They're sweet and charming characters. But who knows? Maybe it'll end tragically and they'll kill each other at the end. I hope not. You're always welcome on my stream. Thank you, Hunter, and thank you for the comment on my YouTube video as well. I appreciated that. Okay, so Carol's grandpa. It was suggested by, I think it was Fox and Doc that suggested this one. But they said a really good idea would be a disabled barrel with a broken plank and a hole in it. And then Kung said that it would be cool to make it sad or have a sad barrel, and I felt that would be perfect for the granddad. Out of all these characters, who could you imagine being the one with a hole in it and being a bit broken and sad? I feel like that would fit the grandpa more than any of them. Do you guys think so too? So we're going to flesh these characters out more, and I'm not sure what his name could be, but we had some cool ideas. We had Barry the Barrel, we had Daryl the Barrel, Woody and Hank were some names for the barrels, and we had Merrill as well, so that could suit one of the lady relatives, and we had Barkley as well, and he was like a banker, I believe. He was the banker barrel. So let's decide who's going to be who, and hopefully we'll get an idea for all these characters, and then we can put up another poll, and hopefully we'll get a better result this time, and they won't all have the same equal votes, because how it is at the moment is just impossible to accept this poll currently, because they're all equally, everybody likes them. I think it was the mother and father and the aunt that got the least votes, but it's still not, they still got, you know, a few votes. It doesn't seem fair to cut them at this point, so let's at least think of some personalities, and I'm sure that there'll be some that stand out more than others and have got a lot more character to them, and they'll probably be the ones that end up going through. So let's flesh them out. Meryl the Barrel, it's all cool, isn't it? Meryl the Barrel. Could either be the mother, the auntie, or the grandma, or the sister. Or the friend if it's a lady barrel. Which we don't know what the friend is yet. The friend could literally be anything. Somebody even mentioned that we could have one that's a box and not a barrel. That could fit being the friend because it's not from the Barrel family. So it would, that could work quite well actually. This blood red sweater is giving me life. Yeah, it's very Christmassy, isn't it? And I put this on today and I was like, you know what, these deer ears will be perfect with this. So here I am. Happy December. And has anyone got an advent calendar? I have, because I love chocolate. So what about if the auntie is a raging alcoholic because she spent most of her life as a wine cask? And you know what, that's interesting, because we actually have a drunken barrel idea filled with rum, but everybody kind of had their heart set on the uncle being that. I guess we could make it the aunt instead of the uncle, but I guess this is where we need chat's feedback on which one would suit being the drunk one filled with rum more, the uncle or the aunt. It could, honestly, I don't mind whatever way, but I just want to have whatever you guys like the most for these. I want to make sure whatever we match them up with personality wise is what everybody overall thinks is the coolest and most interesting character type for these barrels. But I'd absolutely love to say that for all 9 of them we can think of some really unique ideas, but I believe that there'll be some that stand out more than others and have more character than others, and they'll probably be the ones that win the poll, but we'll see. So Grandad, he's the one that we kind of know. Because as soon as it was mentioned in chat last stream, I was like all over this. I was like, that's the most adorable barrel ever. So what name would suit the grandpa? Hank, would he? I think Barry suits the uncle. I don't know. There's a Barry, there's a Daryl, there's a Woody, there's a Hank. Hank's a great name because it's just so random compared to the others. I like it. To be fair, Carol is sad and has a hole in her heart from her missing son. She is. She's a Sundayer though, Carol. She don't show that. She's very much, she's got the sass. She's feisty. She's an angry lady. She's a really interesting character and I like her. So she's a bit full of rage more. She's definitely not gonna show much emotion. I mean, she will do, because the whole point of the Sunday trope is that they're like a bit violent, but they've got a heart of gold really, but it takes a while for that to come out. Am I right there? Have I got that trope right? Because we did a poll ages ago on this and everybody wanted Carol to be a Sundayer, so, and I thought, yeah, she's great. She's got lots of angry expressions as well on her face animation sheet. Hi Kermit, how are you doing? It's good to see you. We're having a good day. A power lush barrel couple. Aunt is a wine cask and the uncle is a keg. Awesome, that's a great idea. So do you think they should both be drunks, the uncle and aunt? Then this is what you're saying, guys? So we can make them a bit distinctive from each other still, and I think Gretchen's idea could work. One of them's a wine cask and the other's a keg. For sure. So we could get that info in now. But obviously if there's anything, we can always alter these descriptions slightly before we put the poll up, and if you have any ideas at all, chat, to make it even cooler and more amusing. Hanky. Hanky the Barrel. So I'm still wondering what his name should be, the grandpa. When I think of the uncle, I just think Barrel is perfect. And maybe Daryl for the brother. Daryl sounds a bit more trendy. and probably for a younger Barrel. So maybe the brother out of this group for Daryl. But Barry and Woody and Hank sound like old Barrel names. Okay, so a drunken barrel filled with rum. And what was the description for the aunt? Let's scroll back in chat and see. Raging alcoholic, because she spent most of her life as a wine cask. This is wonderful. A raging alcoholic. And what did we say, the uncle? A keg. A drunken keg filled with rum. I'm going to have to look at pictures of kegs and casks so we get this done accurately. But this is so cool. I'm having fun already. And yeah, of course, if anyone has any ideas, any additions to add to these descriptions, please say so. We want these characters to be as awesome as possible. And honestly, if we put this poll up and they all end up getting equal votes again, I'll just be tempted to have a lot of them in the game. But we'll see. Whoever ends up polling the polls as the most popular will be the ones that go through. Because this was very, very equal, and we can't cut any of them at this stage. So we definitely have to be more descriptive to maybe hopefully help you know who to vote for this time. So names. I'm thinking Barry. Let's put Barry down for Uncle. Barry the Barrel. And Grandpa, should it be Woody or Hank maybe? If the grandpa's Hank, then the father would be Woody. But if he's Woody, then the father would be Hank. I'm thinking Hank so far I'm thinking Hank. But the grandpa, but if anybody disagrees with me, man, don't be afraid to say. Daryl the Barrel, and I'm going to put Daryl by the brother already, because I'm feeling Daryl fits the bro. Daryl, Carol's brother, Daryl. Grandma should be an old fine wine with glasses. Oh, that's an interesting one, Kermit. Hi, Milksy. How you doing? It's good to see you. How long are we going to have with these barrels? Are we going to encounter them outside flashback? It can take a lot of dialogue to develop a character to the point where a player knows what we in chat will know. If we're spending a day or two fleshing these guys out, but they only show up in one short flashback, we're not really going to convey all the nuance. Oh, they're going to be in the game. They're going to be characters in the game. They're the what you call the MacGuffin of the game. Has anyone ever heard of that fictional term, MacGuffin? Because Carol is say the whole thing with Carol's flashback is she's mentioning how she has lost them, and it's her goal to find them. In other words, and she's already got a link with Rose, and Rose is like her little painter now that communicates with her where they are, because Rose can't speak words, so she's gonna paint for Carol. But she's already done it once. Whether that's going to become a theme in the game, we don't know. But she's gonna paint the location of where the family are, and that location, as well as the barrels themselves, are kind of the MacGuffin of the game. And gotcha, good to hear. Harry the Barrel, that's a good one as well. Guys, you come up with all the ideas. I'm going to write down these. Grand glasses. I think that you can meet these barrels in different houses across the world map. It's going to be cool, like, oh yeah, this is Carol's grandpa. People own houses, match your personality to the barrels. Well, maybe when they've been found, but they're probably going to end up in the game and found eventually. But it's like they're like part of Carol's story, and Carol is like an iconic character in this, so they're definitely not going to be minor. But I think the whole point, like, I see this as we have a flashback and we see all these charming characters, and because we attached them from the flashback because they're super adorable and sweet, we're immediately going to want to meet them, and it's kind of going to be the player, that I kind of want to make the player want to find them and want to play the game so they can find them. Because you need a hook, don't you? Otherwise people will get bored of the story. So I feel like having a really adorable, charming little cast of barrels that have gone missing. To me, if I was playing that kind of game with a story, I'd be like, I want to find these adorable barrels. And yes, you might think, oh, in one flashback, we're not gonna have it, people won't get attached in one flashback, but you'd be surprised if we can pull it off. We might be able to make people get attached to these characters in one flashback. But there may just not be one flashback. Carol could have more flashbacks over the course of the game. She's a travelling companion of the heroes, and who knows what other flashbacks there could be. I mean, I want there to be a barrel village in the game, eventually, where barrels live. That's kind of a bit out there at the moment, but I just like the idea. Even if the background of character doesn't ever get revealed, the fact that it exists helps bring the character to life when writing dialogue. It's why actors study or create backstories for characters, even when it's never told to the audience during the performance. Yeah, and I think we're going with that as well. Like, you know, all our character sheets that we've got here, who knows like what will be revealed in the game for these guys. Like, a lot of it isn't going to be revealed straight away, but some of it will get revealed over the course of the story, and it's nice to just have that information to help inspire potential character arcs and storylines over the game. Well, all of the NPCs I've seen in RPG Barrels weren't one that I would have expected. Hi Legacy, how are you doing? It's good to see you. Hope you're having a good day. Yeah, nobody would expect barrels in a game. Is that what you mean, Legacy? It's true. They are pretty quirky characters. You can show the personality in many other ways than just some dialogue. Anyway, how are you? Yeah, the character art alone will show their personality. The point is whether through dialogue or actions, having a detailed backstory helps write those things and keep consistent with the character. Okay. But you'll be, honestly, like, we've got a one-line description here that we're going to go for. And my intention is to make their asset alone show that. Do you know what I mean? So really, you can do a lot. All I want to know is the information to make their assets, and then we build them from that point. Backstories are important, yay. And I know, I honestly, I love them already. We haven't even got them yet, but I love them already. Carol the Barrel was a hit. Everybody loves her, so I feel like we can't lose by having more barrels in the story, as wacky as it is. And I'm very fond of Carol having this bit of story. She's not just a barrel with no past. She's actually fleshed out. She's more than just comic relief. Yeah, thank you, Legacy. I'm honoured to have won your art raffle, for sure. Even more important than me? No, nobody's more important than you guys. Nobody at all. But yeah, obviously give feedback. I'm hoping that like what I'm saying will make sense though, but feel free to challenge me if you think that what I'm saying is wrong or you disagree with it. I don't mind that at all if I ask. and I'm totally asking because I'm intrigued with what you guys think, for sure. I definitely agree you need personality fleshed out, but it would be a little shame not to show off that character. Well, that's the, you know, do you get what I mean, guys? We're meeting these cool characters and we've lost them, and you wanna find them because they're so adorable, and that's the hook to make you want to carry on playing the game, so we can find these barrels. And that's like the point of the story, so finding them. They're like the ring in Lord of the Rings. Well, they're not like entirely, but it works in the same way. It's like a quest to find something. How are you guys today? Yeah, how are you guys? Right, so we're getting there. We've already got 3 of this list worked out, so I'm totally up for more ideas, and I'm going to look at our list because we've still got a list of more ideas from last week. So the grandma, did we say there'd be wine in her barrel? See, we got to be careful here, guys. We got to be careful because these barrels, some of them have to be empty. We can't have them filled with stuff because the whole point, I mean, I haven't taught, this is my fault now because I haven't taught you about the flashback yet, and why what's actually going on in the flashback, but it's to do with smuggling. Without giving too much away, it is to do with smuggling and stuff being put in the barrels that shouldn't be put in the barrels. They're being used, in other words. So if some of them have got alcohol in them, they're pretty, you know, they've already got stuff in them and they can't really smuggle. But, well, yeah, we got a plot hole. But I do like the drunken ones. I'm attached to that. I think it's quite cute, but we can't make them all have liquid in them for that reason. Been a busy, stressful week or two, but wanted to pop in and say hi, bar sandwich. How you doing? It's so good to see you. Hope you're having a good day. I'm fine with capital letters. My goodness. Raging allergies. Oh my goodness, I've had some weird allergies as well, like sort of skin itchiness more than anything. So I don't know what that's all about, but I'm all right now. I agree, Rose. I wasn't trying to say that we need a whole bunch of barrel up front, just that if we're spending so much time developing them, then over the course of the game they should get sufficient character development so the player can learn and appreciate them as much as those of us in chat do, which you have very much said will be the case. Yeah, well, I don't know whether, like, they're I see them as, have you ever in a game or story met a character and within a few minutes you love it? Like, they're just charming instantly. So they don't necessarily have to be like super fleshed out. They're just characters you instantly love because they're so charming. I'm sure you've all got a character that you can think of in a work of fiction that you met and within a short period of time you got attached. And I guess that is the goals with these guys. Like, in the short flashback sequence that we watch of Carol's, we immediately love them. That's the goal. Whether we're going to succeed at doing that, we don't know yet, but hopefully we do. That's what we're going to try and do. And yeah, it's like about, they're so cute and adorable, and but we want to find them badly. That's the hook. So I'm repeating myself a lot, but yeah, it's still open whether they'll get huge stories. That's still a question mark at the moment because we don't entirely know when in the game we'll find them. We could find them halfway through. We could find them towards the end. Who knows? You know, we don't know yet. It all depends where the story takes us. Because I still want to keep that improvised feel a little bit that we've had, even though we're doing things a bit differently now and trying to structure it, pardon me, a little bit more than before. I still want to keep a sort of improvised feel because I feel like having a whole story planned out beginning to end it kind of limits creativity, especially as we get people join the community and want to suggest potential ways the story could go. But there will defo be a little bit more structure and plans. An explosive barrel is introduced. No way. No barrel is gonna die. There is only cuteness here. Yeah, personally, when new characters come up and dump their backstory, managers don't buy it. It takes away, but character-aware backstory peeks out a bit here and there. When relevant, can make you really attach to a character in a short amount of time. Yeah, we'll try and avoid, what's the word? Begins with an E. I always forget this word, but it sometimes happens in a lot of fiction where you get given that backstory all in a big lump of text, like the character rolls off, like, you know, what they are. But I'd rather do the whole showing over telling thing and avoid that. And I think as we will the flashback will succeed as long as we love the characters we've met quite fast, quite quickly. We've got an attachment to them. We don't need to know much about them other than what they look like, and have a few funny lines of dialogue that link to who they are a bit. And as long as we've done that, I feel we've succeeded, because we'll care knowing that they've gone missing, and that these barrels are being taken advantage of, and we'll kind of will start to care about that quest, because we don't want these characters to be taken advantage of, and we want to know what's happened to them. So that's the goal more than anything. I want an example of a fictional character that's like that we can get attached to, but you know, we don't know much about. I'm trying to think now, but I can't think right now, but I'm sure there's lots out there that fit that kind of example. Guess who's back? Hi Storm, how you doing today? It's good to see you. Oh yeah, that's the word, you're right. Battle sandwich and Rex, that's it. I'm very much a fan of minimal dialogue. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love dialogue and lots of it, but only if it adds to the story in a good way, not where it's a list of information. Like, we can like find that out in other ways, and it can be revealed through showing rather than telling, as they say. Yeah, I hate unnatural dialogue. That's clearly written to give the viewer relevant information. Yeah, as soon as that starts happening, I'll try and avoid it, because that's a pet peeve of mine as well. Sometimes a character will explain something greater going on through their own experience. It's okay to say it if the player or reader is gonna care about it somewhat. You know what I mean? We have to at least care about this character beforehand, because if it's some random and they're just a list of names we don't know and places we don't recognise and lore that we don't know nothing about, it's hard to like get attached to it, in my experience anyway. But if I've already started to care about that character and I'm interested to learn more about them and who they are, then yeah, perhaps you can get away with it. Right, so there was a few ideas for other barrels. Somebody mentioned a clumsy barrel who drops their filling everywhere, and that is quite an interesting one, because this barrel could, if they're smuggling illegal stuff, then if there was a clumsy barrel that was dropping their filling, this barrel could blow the whole cover for that's going on here. So I kind of do like having that kind of character, because you never know what could happen, and there's something endearing about a clumsy character, I think. There always is. So that, I guess we've got the spaces open for father, mother, grandma, sister and friend, or even the brother for those. So I guess it's thinking who would suit being the clumsy barrel that drops their filling everywhere. What did I miss while I was gone, and what is happening with Carol? Okay, guys, I'll just give you a heads up if you've been away and you're curious what's going on. We were working on the next part of the main story last week. We'll be doing things a slight bit differently from this point on. When it comes to the main story, we won't be writing it in paragraphs like this. We will be doing votes on polls, like we'll have a series of polls to make decisions more often, I'd say. But this will basically just tell you the next part of the story. After Rose joins the party and you're given the quest to sacrifice her to the monster of the Everbloom Forest. And as you know, some of you might know if you were here last week, we have decided the next boss, these fruit guys. So not what people probably expected. People probably expected a fearsome monster, some fearsome beast that was going to eat everybody up and be like, you know, really scary and stuff. But instead we got these cute little guys. They're actually quite dangerous, so it seems. They're not as cute as they look. And if you're curious what happens, basically Zexian's submission, which was the winner, is how the lore is going to go, and how this he's kind of filled out an idea with these fruits, and he's also expanded on it in the general ideas discussion, so feel free to have a read, because we've discussed how the battle mechanics could work in there. Even though we haven't set them in stone yet, we're going to have a skill discussion on Wednesday. We've at least got some early ideas, which is great. But the actual next part of the story, we do have a Carol. Carol's got mentioned because Carol's a key part of this now, and she's going to have a flashback, and we're going to meet her barrel companions. And what line is it? It's this line here. So this very early line here is what we're focusing on now. We're just like trying to flesh out some characters and scene ideas, really, and we're focusing on who these barrel companions could be. And at some point we're going to work on the scene for that flashback, but we've also got the present time scene as well to work on, but I'm putting that aside for now and focusing on this with the barrels, because I think it'll be a cool thing, a cool, fun, creative idea for us to think of some super quirky characters together. So back to where we were. So we've got a list of some companions. We know that Carol's got a son from the story in the Discord. So he's automatically going to be in it, but there's some other companions that are open. And 4 I thought was a good number, but we don't have to stay rigid to that. If we end up having some that are really popular in the poll, I don't mind adding an extra one. But I've got a list of companions. They're all like relatives, or we've even got Carol's friend. And we're just going to try and flesh them out, think of something unique for each of them and give them a name. Then we're going to put up a poll, and the ones that top the poll will be the ones we go with. Because I feel like if we have all 9, that's too many. That would be too many characters for us to get to know in a short space of time in one single few-minute flashback. But having 4, I feel like it feels like a good balance, especially if they're very unique asset-wise and have unique features. They could stand out from that. Whereas if they all look the same, then they wouldn't stand out as much or be as memorable. Anyway, catch up with chat time. I just wanted to make sure all of you were kind of up to date on what was going on. I am sandwich, no reason to tell you this, but my uncle's the blacksmith over there. My sister has gone missing, probably been abducted by demons or something. Ignore my spooky necromancer robes. I keep wanting to burp, everybody. I'm allergic to OBS. Clumsy barrel could have coal or something. Oh, illegal, maybe gems, spices. They fall over and dump them on stuff. I don't know. Yeah, guys, I'm going to just make this clear now. Try not to think of things being inside the barrels, if that's okay, because I already have an idea that the stuff smuggled, and that stuff is going to be raindrops, just so you know. The game's called Raindrop Chronicles, and it's the currency of the game, and it's like it's like, if I hope, does anybody know the currency so far? Is anyone aware of it? Because there's probably a few of you that might not realise that we actually don't have normal currency in this game. We don't have gold, silver or anything like that. We have a unique liquid based currency, which is raindrops, and it's the weather based currency. And I have a list of stuff. I've got a screenshot of some ideas, but there's still a lot that we've got to flesh out with that. But they are kind of transported by bottle, the raindrops are, and I guess everyone hopes that they're fairly distributed, because it would kind of be a bit mean if the areas with most rainwater were richer than the desert areas. That ain't a fair world, but you know, it's probably not like that. There's probably a lot of crap going on and illegal stuff, because it would be difficult with that kind of world for everything to not be like that, I would say. So there's still a lot to flesh out, but this is just early ideas. So I don't want all of them kind of be full with stuff, because it kind of creates a massive plot hole. Right. Enjoy the layer bottle sandwich. Oh yeah, you do, Storm Eagle. I was looking earlier and I saw that. Yeah, so feel free to fill in your character form if you'd like, and I'll add you to our Trello. I have a new Trello page now, which you can see here. So we got a character sheets list, and anybody who does a character sheet will now get added to that. And I'll probably do them in order more than likely, and what they are here. Work was like that, and no worries at all. No worries at all. Rose draws, raindrops, yeah. So yeah, that's just the gist of it. I kind of like that direction, even though it's far from perfect. There's probably going to be a lot of discussion that we'll have to have on how the currency can work and to make this be awesome, because we've only got rough ideas at the moment. But I think the liquid currency idea is like super cool. It's really interesting, especially because it's based on something natural like weather. It would be chaos to have a currency like that. There would have to be so much regulation for it to work. But, you know, I like the idea that this will be pretty corrupt, I have to say. That would be more fun. So, yeah. Poor barrels. Poor barrels, they're the victims in this. Thank you, DBA, for that follow. I appreciate it. Welcome to the stream. Okay, so clumsy barrel. Clumsy barrel. And I did like the idea of something big in it, but it will have something in it. It'll have raindrops in it. But poor guy. And to be honest, I mean, I know that we've said we got drunk ones that have alcohol in them, but you know, maybe they can be emptied and they'll be sad because they're drunks and they want the alcohol. But you know, imagine that a evil human smuggler grabs the poor uncle, tips her out of his alcohol, and poor guy, he wants his alcohol, and then just puts the other bottles of other stuff, raindrops, in him instead. That could work. Okay. Clumsy ones. I'm just thinking which relative would suit clumsy. I'm thinking Daryl the barrel could suit being clumsy, actually. I'm thinking Daryl the barrel. I feel like a guy suits being clumsy. But feel free to disagree if anybody thinks that somebody else would suit being clumsy. So as someone who majored in economics, my only question is, are any of the spellcasters able to create water? And if they do, does that water exist for more than a few moments during the spell attack? Well, one thing we did discuss, we've said any form of liquid water, like in oceans, pools, anything that's landed and settled doesn't count as the currency. It's only freshly fallen rainwater that counts. And I suppose there'll have to be a visual indicator just for world building purposes so that you know what is freshly fallen. Somebody suggested that freshly fallen is brighter and settled water is more dull. So that would be how you'd know if it was freshly fallen or not. Because there's just so many ways for people to potentially exploit the system if it could be any form of water. But I'm probably rambling on a bit, maybe going a bit off topic here, as I always do. I get excited, that's why. But any spellcaster able to create water, and if they do, does that water exist for more than a few moments during the spell attack? Well, that's something we can still decide, Zexy, because we haven't really focused at all on skills for spellcasters. As you might know or might not know, we've only really done warrior, hunter and vampire so far because they're the current classes in the game. We do have a sorcerer though. We have a sorcerer in the game, but he hasn't joined the party yet, so we haven't done any of their skills. But once that sorcerer joins the party, or anybody at all that's a spellcaster in general, that we will do their skills too. We'll start them from that point. So yeah, there's still a lot very much undecided with that kind of thing at the moment. I think the idea would be that rainwater's the only thing usable, so there will need to be a fancy way of telling the difference. Yeah, then I think colour and like brightness of colour maybe is probably the most easiest way of doing that for sure. A visual indicator like that. That's a good thing about fantasy. We can just make up whatever stuff we want. Okay. So somebody said the grandma could wear glasses. And I like that idea. Don't know what her name should be yet though. But what should her personality be? Because that's still very much open. Some personality ideas that got suggested were, well, we got clumsy, we got sad, disabled, excited, an overwhelmed, emotional barrel. Excited. So one of the barrels could be excited. It'd be cool to have a different range of personalities. If we got a sad one, a clumsy one. To be honest, the clumsy one could be excited. That could fit because that. Well, not necessarily. He could just be clumsy. He doesn't have to be excited to be clumsy. So this auntie, it says she's a raging alcoholic. So is she going to be, does that mean she's going to be like angry alcoholic? Or do we mean raging just as in she's really an alcoholic, as in she's a major alcoholic? Because I'm actually thinking now she could be angry, but we've already got Carol the Barrel that's a bit angry, but this auntie could be even more angry. Who knows? She could be scary. The sister, the friend, the father and the mother. So what can we do for them? We've got some names. We've still got some names up for grabs. We've got Woody, Harry, and so we got Daryl, Barry and Hank, but we still got Woody, Harry, and we got Meryl as well. So Meryl could be the sister or the mother. Is that the only lady name we've got? Or Meryl could be the grandma. Yeah, I think Meryl is the only lady name we've got so far. So totally up to figure out some more lady names for our barrels for sure. Thank you, Rod. Have a good day. Now, messages and bomb me all, guys. I would totally say if anything did. I'm not one to not say, especially nowadays. I just ban people. Similar to how we have a paper currency, what's to stop someone from making their own paper and using it as money? We have ways to tell the difference, and counterfeiting is still a thing. So I'd imagine there will be something similar in this world. People making fake rainwater. Yeah, I can imagine all sorts of corruption going on in many ways, like not just one. Like these smugglers could be one type of faction of all that are corrupted, and then there could be others. Like, because I want loads of factions in this game from all kinds of like different races, up to no good, and different factions. And you could get the ones that make the fake rainwater. You could get the ones that smuggle raindrops where they shouldn't be smuggling them to make certain countries or cities richer, in a legal way. Like, there's a lot of ways to go about it for sure. We've got a huge list of potential directions we could go, so it'll be super cool to refer to that list again and like think of some cool ideas. I put an idea for the grandma. Oh, antique barrel who was captured and put on display in a museum. Oh gosh, antique sounds interesting. What like colour would she be? Like, what would an antique barrel look like compared to a normal one? I'm trying to visualise that now. I could always use Google Images. But it's like, it's interesting to think of that, because that's like a pretty big backstory idea, but it'll be cool, but let's be a little bit more generic perhaps just for now, because there's a lot to consider. I mean, there's been talk in our ideas channel about the barrels only recently becoming sentient, so that's another thing to consider as well. So I don't want to confirm anybody's like backstory or history or what they did before being caught quite yet, just because it could potentially not work out if the story leads a certain way. But I do like it's a pretty cool idea. And well, are these smugglers corrupted, or are they just Robin Hood like characters trying to help the impoverished and downtrodden? See, I had the opposite in mind for this particular faction. One's actually wanting to help the rich, but I totally love the idea of there being some kind of faction that helps the poor as well. This is what I mean about there being multiple factions that have their own agenda, because people are going to have different views about how they want to run the world of Raindrop Chronicles. Some will think, oh no, this isn't right, I want to help the poor. Others will be out for themselves. Others will be for the rich. Some will make fake rainwater. They can be out. I mean, I think Chub Cheeks mentioned he wanted to be an alchemist. I mean, he is we've already got Chub Cheeks as a reptile that wears armour, but who knows? I mean, there could be characters that do that sort of thing for sure. Hi, Lord. That's a funny name. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing? That's cool. Just going to throw out wherever I think I've used what you like. Well, thank you for the ideas. It's certainly good to have some ideas, and I'm definitely going to note it down about that, because I think it could potentially be a thing if it works. So I like to have it there just in case we can think, actually, that could suit the plot. That could work. So I've added it to the list about the museum thing. Even if it isn't part of our past, it could be something that happens in the future in the game. You never know. Something could come in for it. I want to look at pictures of antique barrels now, because I'm curious I don't know what they look like. I'm a noob. I'm too much got wooden barrel on my mind. Well, it seemed like the looks are basically the same as wooden ones. Maybe they'd be have a gold sort of. You know how Carol the Barrel's like black? She's got the black going round. Well, the antique barrel could have gold. Maybe. I feel like we could go for that. Give her a bit of a unique kind of visual difference to the others as well. We don't want them all to look the same. What could a personality be like? Is she a prude? Is she serious? I feel like we've got some pretty crazy characters here so far, so maybe a serious one could like be a good one. Cheryl, who is a barrel of sherry. Hi, Milk. Wow. Sherry. So who's the alcoholic? The auntie. Okay. How about calling her Sherry and actually making her a sherry? Be addicted to sherry, because that'd work. Especially because she happens to be a lady alcoholic. I still like my idea. Where's your idea? Oh, I've only just read it, Rex. I'm sorry, I missed that bit. I've seen Zexy and Rex said something. Well, are these smugglers corrupted or... Oh, I've already read that one. I've just realised I'm a silly. She could be normal barrel but insists that she's an antique barrel. And everyone knows she's just a normal barrel, but she's like, no, I was a barrel used by the former king to deliver the freshest pickles to the royal court. And others were like, sure. That's quite funny too. But if that's the case, we probably don't want to say this. We'll have to amend that bit. So really, she's just an old, crusty, old barrel. And it fits for the grandma. I mean, we do already have a grandpa that's a bit broken. So... I know if we want to make them too similar, but she doesn't necessarily have to be broken and disabled, though. She could just be an old barrel that's a little bit deluded and think she's antique. Rose, we love your streams. I hope you know how much you rock. Thank you, Zaxi, for sure. People probably think I'm sitting here thinking you guys might think I'm a crazy person talking about making barrels living beings. We're like coming thinking, who's this crazy person? And at the end, if it could be revealed that she actually was an antique barrel, and then everyone is surprised. See, that's interesting. That's interesting. I like it. So thank you, Hunting and Rex, because this is cool. You guys come up with an idea, and then it can be made into something awesome. This is why I like community chats. So I'm just thinking how we can word this now. So we still haven't got a name for her, but we were in the middle of discussing this auntie as well, so I don't want to forget that either, because that was an interesting thing with the sherry. But if it's sherry, we should probably be Cheryl, rather with an S, not a C. If sherry is spelled with an S, it is, isn't it? I'm gonna have to double check because I don't even know. But wine cask, I did like that, but wine and sherry are different kinds of alcohol. But you know, she could still, I don't know, she could still be Cheryl. But I do like the sherry addiction because it makes the name funny. But I know. I like Rex's idea. Okay, so how do we sum this up in one sentence? That's the thing. This is the challenging bit, and my dear headband is starting to hurt now. But I don't want to take it off. It's a child's headband. So that's why. I'll just move it a little bit backwards and that'll be better. So I'm going to save what you said, Rex, about the barrel, just so I've got the notes. But we obviously won't be able to reveal all that here probably, but I want to try my best to make it clear. Because otherwise people won't vote for the grandma in the poll if we don't make her sound awesome enough. But like, there's a lot of story there for everyone, so I'm struggling now to write that in one sentence, to be honest. So what names have we still got? Harry. Woody. Woody's just a cute name. I definitely want Woody. But who would be Woody? I suppose it could only be the father now, or the friend. But the friend could be a box. You know, it was suggested that we could have a box. Was that Fox that suggested that, Tail Fox, last stream? Because that'd just be really random that there's a box there. And it would be perfect because they're all related and the friend's not related, and it explains why he's not related, because he's the box, not the barrel. A box. Could be a girl or a boy. We need a good name for a box. Either male or female doesn't matter. We'll think of names first. And whatever really ends up being a great name for a box is what we'll go with. Meryl. I'm thinking Meryl for the sister, but that could be the mother as well. Could be Eva. But I think that's the last lady name we've got, Meryl. So we've got a nameless other one. The one that isn't going to be called Meryl's currently nameless. Sister, a flirty barrel who's passionately in love with a bad boy oil drum who the rest of the family don't approve of. That is funny. So should we make the sister really flirty, guys? I feel like that's a great personality to have. It contrasts with Carol's. Because Carol's the son deer who is angry and will never show affection. At least at the start of the game. So I think a flirty sister's perfect. A bad boy oil drum. We got to have that as a character, haven't we? How is that going to end up in the story, though? Because we're really fleshing him out here, which is what I didn't expect. I like it, don't get me wrong, but it's making me think, when is this going to be real? But like Rex said earlier in the stream, the writer can have all this list of character and flashback and animation and history of all the characters, but you know, it doesn't all have to be revealed, at least not all straight away anyway. This could be something that's found out about the sister later on. You know, that there's the oil drum. I mean, where would the oil drum be? Where do they hang out? What sort of locations? Because they wouldn't be in the forest, would they? They ever bloom. Maybe there'd be another location in the world where he's from, and we come across him later. And that's when it all comes out. It's funny. I like it, and I feel I'm going to copy and paste that content. But it kind of, part of me wants to put this down just so, because of the poll, it might encourage people to vote for the sister. You know what I mean? So I don't want to miss these important bits of information off. A flirty barrel who is we can't put too much because it'd gone forever, want to keep it to one line, short and sweet. So the family don't approve of. If we get space, I'll add that bit too. But we'll keep it like that for now. And we was doing the grandma bit, and I was struggling to fit all that in one line, all that information. Let's think. Yay, we got such a range of personalities. It's going to be really hard to vote for these characters. Oh my goodness me. But we've really not... The mother and the father, nobody has a clue who they're going to be. Hang on a minute. Barkley the Brokerage Barrel. That's it. That was Zex's idea. I've just noticed it in the notes. I thought, yeah, that's the dad. Okay, so what name? What male name? Woody. Someone's got to be Woody. Oh no, the box can't be Woody because he's be cardboard, right? Unless he's a wooden box. That could be possible. Yeah, because we got no other dudes, so he's going to have to be Woody. Woody, a wooden box. Yeah, he doesn't have to be cardboard, he can be wooden. Wooden's fine. Bless him. Woody the wooden box. Obviously, guys, if you've got any ideas for how to, any at all for these guys, feel free to suggest. They don't even have to be visible. The oil drum could be mentioned once in passing. Why are you flying with... Like, aren't you seeing that oil drum? I never liked him. When are you going to break up with that rusty buggy? Yeah, that's exactly true, Rex. I mean, it doesn't even have to be introduced. It might be, but doesn't have to. These sort of things could be said in passing, for sure. Just add a little bit of funny band to the dialogue. He could be insecure about being cardboard, so everyone has to call him Woody. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Should we go for that for Woody the cardboard box? Who's... Yes. How cute. See what I mean, guys? This is cute. Who wouldn't love these characters instantly? Because the flashback will probably... We don't want to go over the top in how long it'll be. It'll be a few minutes, I'd say, at most. Is a scene, but we can like have some really awesome dialogue going on in this short scene before they go missing, just to get us a little bit attached to them, for sure. A cardboard box who is insecure about being cardboard. So, oh gosh, we're going on a bit. Hang on. I don't know about that, what description for Woody. If anyone's got a better one, feel free to say. Because I don't know if you should make everyone call him Woody. Maybe everyone's nice to him and calls him Woody because he's insecure. He doesn't have to. Or he could. He might just be like, okay, call me Woody. I don't know. Who knows? But I do love the idea. I think it's cute. Woody, should we put it in yeah, we'll put it in I think that sums it up okay, but if anyone's got anything better, then totally feel free to say. We need a good name for a flirty barrel. I did think Meryl, but Meryl could be the mother. We're getting there though. We're getting really close to to finalising this and putting up the poll, everybody. So I think this is the last chance now to really make sure they're as awesome as can be. So we've got any more personality types that we could potentially be missing here? We need to do the grandma. I'm very sorry, Rex, but I've really not done justice to your idea in this description, because she's not antique. She's we don't have to put out the glasses in, won't have to. And a barrel. Insists she's an antique barrel. Cannot spell. Honestly, I'm just thinking, how the hell are we going to choose between this awesome cast of barrels in the poll? But we have to use the most popular. We have to, because we have to cut them down somehow, because we'll just have way too many barrels in one single flashback otherwise. And you know what, say the ones that don't make the poll, they can always come later in the story. The ones that don't make the poll can be living in Barrel Village. They might not be involved in the flashback sequence of the story and the main part, but they could be just barrels in Barrel Village if we have a Barrel Village later on, because if they get enough votes, that is, you know, then some might get 0 votes, and that means they can just be cut completely from the game. But we'll see. We'll see. Get Woody out of the rain. He's going to droop. Oh my God, Rex, that's brilliant. I'm going to copy that line and put that in my notes. So I've got a notepad file here with all my barrel notes in, guys, and I've put in brackets who said what, and this will be really perfect for when we do dialogue, whenever so we could come up with some really good ideas. I'm excited. Elvira, she's self-proclaimed antique barrel. Oh, for the grandma. What does Elvira mean? Does it have a meaning to it, or is it just a name that you liked the sound of, Rex? I've never heard that name before, so I'm very intrigued. Beryl the barrel. We don't have a Beryl, do we? So how about Beryl is the sister. Meryl or Beryl? Which one's better for the flirty barrel? Because I'm trying to think Meryl or Beryl for the flirty one. Which one fits better? And whoever we pick, the mother can have the other name. But all we need now is personality for the mother. We've got let me just do a quick Google. Meryl Barrel sounds more barrel, not barrel. Barrel's definitely a boy's name. Well, barrel is what they are. They're barrels. Dude, hang on. I'm gonna just Google a bit of noob information about Sherry, because So can Sherry be put in casks? I believe so, because there's a picture here called Sherry Cask. Because if so, then Cheryl is going to be the one. She's spent her life as a sherry cask and not a wine cask, just because her name's Cheryl. So it just fits better. But I don't know much about alcohol. So. But yes, it seems that is a thing. Just like to make sure, because you don't want to be caught out and think, oh damn, plot hole. I'd also vote Meryl. Well, it's pronounced the same way, Beryl or Barrel. Either way. Is it pronounced the same way? I say Beryl. Beryl, Barrel. But maybe it's my British accent. Maybe when you say Rex, it sounds the same. So, should we have Meryl? We'll have Meryl for the sister then, because she's flirty, and you guys are voting Meryl. So, but we have to give, you know, a name to the mother, so she'll have to be Beryl. But poor Beryl doesn't have a personality. Poor Beryl. So we have a range of cast here. We got insecure one, we got a clumsy one, we got a flirty one, we got a deluded one, we got a sad one, we got a raging. Should we put raging angry alcoholic? Because we got Cheryl's personality. I feel like because she's a raging alcoholic, she should be a little bit of a salty rager, should I say? I don't know, but I feel like an angry one could flash the cast out nicely. And then we got Carol. She's angry, but not as angry as her aunt. Nowhere near. But Beryl, who on earth is she? Who is she? She's a nobody. She's something. It's a slight difference, but both sound like they'd be for a boy Beryl. Well, Carol's mother Beryl is secretly a boy. Oh no, she's the one we're really stuck with right now. Has anybody got any final ideas? Because the poll will be put up, and if we can't think of anything for the mother, she's going to literally be just generic. We're going to make her super generic because we can't think of anything. Let me just check my notes again to make sure I haven't missed anything. Beryl, a prude. A prude Beryl. I feel like that's the only personality we're missing now. And because the sister Meryl is in love with the bad boy oil drum, I can imagine the mother being like, you know that line, what was it now? There was a mention of the oil drum. I'm gonna Rex said it, so I'm going to find that line of dialogue. Yeah, that's it. I found it, Rex. That bit of dialogue that you said about the sister. So let me just copy and paste that. Why are you still flirting with that? Are you seeing that? Well, I've never liked him. Why are you going to break up with that rusty Bucky? Yeah, that seems like it could come from the mother. A prude Beryl who... Well, we don't have to put about she hates the oil drum in there, because that ain't nothing to do with her, but it fits. Anything else at all that could make some of these characters more interesting that we haven't, that sound a bit not as fleshed out as the others? And then we can put the poll. I'm excited to see how the votes go. Errol. Oh no, all the names are taken, Elite. But I like these names. Yeah, she's a rustist. What's a rustist? I'm gonna Google this, and I've never heard the name Errol before. I'm gonna read about that as well. I always like to pay attention to detail. Oh, it's a Scottish name. Oh, it's a Scottish name, I see. Oh, it's definitely an unusual one. Define. Oh, it's a word for racist. Well, everybody from the Everbloom Forest is racist. Because they just hate, they're all human. But the barrels, you know, maybe she could be a racist too. Would fit with the prude personality, not her not liking the oil drum. A prude. It'd be nice to flesh her out a bit more. Racist. Should we put add racist to the description of the mother? What do you guys reckon? Playing the word racist is rustist. Should we? I would put rustist down, or just, it's like, would everyone know? That might be I'm the only one that doesn't know that word. I am a bit like that. I never understand things. I've put it in Google and it's corrected me to rustic. Go away, Google. I'm just silly sometimes. That's good. We're all silly here, so you fit in perfectly. Hi, Dress. How are you doing? It's good to see you. Hope you're having a good day. Well, I'm going to take it seriously. Whatever you say, guys, I'm going to consider adding, because that's the question I've asked. I've said, guys, anything we should ask? So obviously, I'll be adding it. Joke. So if it is a joke, don't say it, because I'll add it. Right. Swan. Oh, you guys know each other. That's cool. But I'm gonna add it anyway. I'm gonna put racist, and I would put rustist, but people might not click, like if they like me, so we'll put racist instead. But when we're actually doing the game and there's a context, that wouldn't hurt to use that then. So I think that's it. I think we got them. Is everybody happy with these guys? Because now's your last chance. I want to get the poll up now. So if there's anything that you feel is missing with anybody, or anything you strongly feel should be altered, now is your chance. Because we're gonna put up the poll. Plot twist, all the barrels are racist. Carol is just able to mostly hide it to get her son back, and maybe over the course of the game, the fact that humans are helping her get her son caused her to have a change of heart. Wow. This is interesting because there's a little bit of dialogue that was discussed that hasn't actually been put in the game yet, but it will be. It was Rex and Silent and Lost that formed this bit of dialogue, but the Carol flirts with the hero. She flirts with him from the start in a way. She even says that because he's been inside her, they have to be married. So that is Carol flirting with her. If she was racist, maybe she wouldn't say that. But I think, yeah, family could be. But would that stop them being more lovable and adorable characters if they are? Because we want this cast to be super lovable. There's nothing wrong with one character being racist, though, just to give them a bit of distinctiveness, I guess. Beryl the prude mother. Nobody's going to like her. She might not get any votes, but we'll see. Already given to the humans, yeah. But, you know, we kind of want to, well, just stick with, as long as this keep their kind of charming personality, most of all. We don't want them to be villains, the barrels. But at the same time, they can be flawed, for they don't have to be perfect. We can have flawed humans. Well, they're not humans. Daryl is in the game with Chronicles in the title. Oh, really? There's another Chronicles game. It's a very popular game. Another game I like with Chronicles in the title is Valkyria Chronicles. They'd more likely be the victim of racism, considering they're a minority, along with the Beastmen. Oh yeah, I could imagine people being racist about the barrel, especially if they were aware of their sentience. Because people, yeah, they're not human. They're something that's alive that isn't human. Everything that comes after is generally just for a quick laugh. It's not too serious of a suggestion. Yeah, well, obviously it's funny to consider, and for sure I could see there being some. It would fit with barrel for sure, and maybe others in the barrel village. Be some old prude barrels, but the ones that we've got, the grandma and well, especially Hank, he's a nice old barrel. But I'm gonna copy and paste it anyway. Sexy, because I like to look at all this and it helps me think of ideas anyway. So thanks for all your ideas, everybody. You're all for the best. Joshua made a game called Maggie Chronicles and Daryl's the main character in that. Oh, cool. I think that's awesome. You guys know each other though. That's cool. And what a coincidence! We've got a reference to somebody from Dress Race game here. That's awesome. What progress have we made? Well, we thought of who they're going to be now, and we're going to put up a poll. So you can vote for more than one. Just so you know, you can vote for more than one for sure. And I want to thank everyone for all your ideas. I mean, I know that we didn't take all of them on. Sometimes that's impossible to do because we've got lots of ideas. It's impossible to do everything. Things will clash, or we can't do two things at once. But I do appreciate anybody that gives the suggestion. Of course, you don't have to either. It's fine to be a lurker and as well. I appreciate you all. Right, so poll time. Are we ready, everybody? And thank you for your thingy, Zexy. And I won't read it now though, because you always say you want me to read it after stream. So I'll read it after stream. And well, obviously it'll be super cool to chat more about some of the Raindrop plot stuff for sure, and in the near future, whenever it becomes relevant to chat about, really, whenever we're working on something that is very heavy involved with that side of the lore. So I might have found you that way, but I probably shouldn't take credit without knowing. Big Ed found her on YouTube. Yeah, Hunting found me on YouTube, yeah, which is really cool because I never expected people to find me that way, I have to admit, because YouTube feels like such a saturated place. So that's very cool indeed. Okay, so we're basically going to do this poll again, and this one will get deleted and replaced with this new one, because this poll, yeah, the results they were all very similar. Everybody liked the idea of all of them, so ultimately we've had to do things a bit differently. But I'm gonna go on my Carol the Barrel account and I'm going to do a screenshot of this poll because I like to keep a screenshot. And this one probably won't get put up on the Trello, on the poll list, because I'm not going to put every single poll we do on the Trello, just like the key ones. And this one was like a poll that we tried and tested, but ultimately have decided to do things a bit differently about. So, my goodness me, Glacian, 5 months. Thank you for the 5 months. Can we have some hype for Glacian in chat, please, guys? How have you been, Glacian? I hope you've been well. It is a coincidence. How crazy. What a small world, you guys. Well, most of the things I post on Discord aren't related to what we're doing on stream and don't want to derail things. So I'm like, yeah, that's very true, Zexy. And sometimes I might have a little read, say if we're we've stopped what we're doing and it feels like a good time to talk about something else, then as long as you don't mind, of course, you might. If you prefer for the stream not to see, then just let me know. That's fine, Zexy. But I've been good. Just woke up and saw a notification. Oh, awesome. Well, it's good to have you here, Glycian. I super appreciate your support. How far are you, Glycian, from the 500 raindrops anyway? Because I know you used to spend a bit of time in this stream, so you must have quite a few. And I'm curious how close you are to being a character. I'm finally able to interact again after an hour phone call. All the fun. Welcome back, Fox. We've just finished the description of our barrel characters, and I'm taking a screenshot of the other poll we did. Right, so bear with me a moment, everyone. Getting a screenshot, because I don't want to lose this poll before we delete it, because we're going to delete it now and we're going to replace it with our new poll. So this time, I'm gonna probably put a screenshot of these silhouettes next to Carol, because it's exciting. These are gonna be barrels in the game. How many? You've got over 1,000. Holy Glycian, you've got loads of raindrops. You can fill in a character form whenever you like, Glycian, then if you wish to be a character in the game. Oh, not too bad, Jossray. Not too bad at all. You are a drizzle. Oh my goodness, Elite's got over 1,000. Okay, so right. I'm going to just get this image saved in Photoshop. Oopsie, I don't like the white background. It blinds everybody. So we'll keep it as grey, just because it's a little bit kinder to the eyes. I'm going to just get the poll set up now. So probably spend the next few minutes just getting it all set up. And then I'll announce when you're able to vote. And I'll put up a command in chat as well. Just so everybody knows the poll's open. But feel free to keep an eye on it. You can vote as soon as we get it up. But thanks for everybody that's helped with the barrel personality ideas, and I wouldn't have done this without you. No way. You've come up with some really bonkers, cute, adorable ideas for these barrels. I love them. Drizzle Ray, yeah, that suits. That's a good name. Setting up pewter, yay! Absent for a while, work's been keeping me busy. Yeah, don't be ashamed. Don't, everybody, I just want everyone to know that if you have to be away for a while, I am not offended or mad if you're gone at all. Just come whenever you please, everybody. I just want you all to be happy. That's your rap name. Yeah, it should be. I've been missing pretty much all of my Twitch peeps. What if I want you to be offended? Well, I never will be. Has anybody here ever seen me angry? Nobody. I'm a sweetheart. It happens. I've been gone for months, it seems. Yeah, you've been busy, guys. You've been doing your thing, and that is perfectly normal. Okay, so let's get a screenshot up of Carol and her unknown companions. I've spelled barrels wrong. Ultimate fail. Hey, that's a crappy screenshot. What is going on here? You know what it is? Because Discord is silly with images. Discord's a big butt face. Forget it. It's fine. I'm not going to bother putting that screenshot up. I'll leave it as this one. So we'll keep it the exact same. We'll have who should be Carol's barrel companions. Oh, Inception. Double rose on the stream for a split second. Okay, so we're going to do it all over again. It's all saved because I do like to keep record of things, but it will get deleted. So let's get this down. So we'll use the same icons that we used before. All we're going to do is literally add the description for each of them. Because I feel like this poll was difficult simply because we don't know anything about these relatives other than who they are. But now we've fleshed them out a bit more, they've got a bit of personality, and you can all vote for your favourites. It's a lot easier now to vote for your favourites, I think. So let's get them all in. We'll just copy and paste. And I also have to add the reactions to the title of the poll as well. And as soon as I've added the reactions, it'll be open. But I'll delete this one as well. I've seen you angry. Was it Dark Souls or Bloodborne? Yeah, probably. Probably. Although people have said that they've never seen anybody play that game so calmly. So compared to the average person, I'm very, very calm when I play Dark Souls games. Yes, you said dookie. What the hell, man? I always say dookie. Rex taught me that word. $3 AM is a bit early for you. 3 AM? What time is it for you now, Dress? Is it 3 AM where you are? My mum is in the room. Oh no. Dookie. I'm going to get banned from Twitch for being so crass. Can't believe it. What have we done? Progress is Craigasm, it is. Super good. I'm excited to see who everyone's favourite is. Does anybody have a favourite? Don't say who, but does anybody have a favourite barrel? But yeah, feel free to vote for as many as you want. It'd be mean to just limit it to one vote. And the cap is 4, that I'm only going to let the top 4 go through. But if others end up quite popular and narrowly missed the votes, I will potentially add them later on in the game. But this short flashback sequence, we don't want to have too many characters in it. Just a few, you know what I mean? It's going to be too many to remember. So I feel like 4 plus Carol's child would be plenty. Do you agree? I'm talking about Swan Stream. So, oh, are you? Oh, right, I see. I just love what the Dark Souls board game does. You open the box and there's a poster face up with the words "You died" on it. So there's a Dark Souls board game. I didn't even know. Big, by the way. All right. You should introduce that new character. Oh, well, there will be. I'm not even joking. There'll probably be loads by the time the game's finished. A lot. Because I love characters and having lots of characters in things. Okay, so are these all correct? No typos, I hope. I'm going to read this to make sure. think that's all good. So Woody's a boy and we're using a girl emoji, but hang on. Is this an existing emoji? Yeah, we'll use that one. Yeah, because we didn't know the gender of Carol's friend at first, but I think, yeah, Woody's a boy. Is a boy. There we go. Oh, we got a bit of a little error here. There we go. No, we don't want him to be yellow. We want him to... Hey. Man bald. We want him to be that colour because we don't want too many yellow ones because it gets confusing who we're voting for otherwise. There we go. That's better. No. That emoji's being a meanie. How is that not an emoji? I'm gonna be mad because that's a cute emoji and I want it. Yeah, if I put man bald, he'll be yellow. Oh, okay, it's worked. That was it. It's a really confusing emoji code because it's not one of the normal ones. But it's very important that we don't make the colours too... my goodness. There we go. That's it. Finally. Okay, so it's all in. We got to just add the reactions now. So we'll do that in a sec. Your snack. I know. I've completely forgot. I usually get it around 5. So once we got this poll up, I'll get it. Get this poll up first. Desperate for you all to vote. Will you be doing any mapping soon? We spent a lot of time doing the Everbloom Forest mapping a while ago, and it's going to be a long time until we do a considerable amount of mapping again, because we want to get Everbloom Forest. We want to spend a lot of time there. We want to make the most of that place. We put a lot of hard work into it, so we won't be leaving any time soon. Going to be a lot of side quests and fleshed out NPCs there before we move on. But there will be a cave. There's a cave in the 4th map of the Everbloom Forest, so the next mapping will be that cave, I assume, and that might be one of the side quests, but might be the main story, considering it's a full new area. So the cave will be our next. Although I do want to turn Lakefall into a parallax map as well, so there will be a little bit of mapping when we do that. Lakefall's the village, and we've currently used tile sets for it, but we're going to do we're going to turn it into a parallax map soon, but that'll probably be in the new year. Carol has some eyebrows though. She's all kinds of fish. She's amazing. She's feisty and sassy, Carol is. She's amazing. I love her. I love her to bits. Oh, Tail already did it for me, and that was me struggling. That was me struggling. Sometimes I don't read chat until way after. Side quests going to new areas can be good. It rewards the player for doing the side quest with new exploration, if that makes sense. Yeah, it's going to all depend on whether there's something relevant for the main plot to go in a cave. If not, it'll just be a side quest. But I don't know. It might be a biggish area, and it might feel that it's worthy of being part of the main quest. I mean, I'm definitely for having side dungeon areas, but yeah, we'll say, because it's still very much undecided at the moment. Right, so let's add some reactions. So who's this? Oh, Carol the Barrel's got to do it, not me. So I'm on another Discord page at the moment. I'm on Carol the Barrel's username, and what I do is I make Carol vote with reactions. I'm also going to delete these polls, by the way, because we don't need them anymore. Oh, hang on. It's important we add this bit. Oh. So delete that. I've taken a screenshot, so we're all good. Oh, why are you voting? Oh, hang on. No, guys, don't vote. We gotta start again. Hang on. Oh, we don't have to. Actually, this is probably the easiest way to do it. Just cross off everyone's vote. Oh, no. Damn it, I've screwed it up. We gotta start again. Sorry. We gotta delete it. Otherwise, I would have just deleted everyone's votes and done it on that, but I accidentally deleted all of them and the emoji disappeared. So, yeah. We gotta start fresh, guys. That was an old poll. Oh my gosh, I've got the coughs. And yeah, you're all getting excited. I don't blame you. You just want to get them votes in, and I like that. You're getting excited, so I'm not going to complain in the slightest. But let's get them in. Right, so I've got to find the names of these emojis first. Bearded person, woman, man, redhead. We'll do them a few at a time. I love it, you're already voting. Yeah, feel free to vote if you're the one you like is already there. They'll all be up within the next minute anyway, but feel free to start voting now if you'd like. There you go, I've got, those are all the correct emojis, aren't they? I hope they're all matched up properly. Otherwise, oopsie. So, I like them. I wouldn't know who to vote for yet. I'll probably make votes myself. Oh no, hang on guys. I accidentally did the reactions on me. I'm going to have to make Carol do them, so I can take them off myself, because I like to be able to have a vote. So I make my Carol username do it instead. And Carol's here. Where is she? Where's Carol the Barrel? She's here somewhere. There she is. That's me. I use that account if anybody's curious. And basically I use her to add the reactions, because then I can vote for who I want. Otherwise, if I have to do the reactions, I'm not allowed to vote. So at least this way I get to vote too. But I'll vote after stream, because I don't want to make anybody biased. Dang, got back just too late to over enthusiastically vote things. Yeah, get your votes in, everybody. If you're already in the Discord, you'll be able to vote right now. Feel free to join if you're not. If you want to get the votes in. I love how we've got loads already. My goodness gracious, we've got loads already. Usually these polls take some time to get going. So awesome. I'm glad you're excited, Chat. I'm hoping this poll's easier than the last one, because it's pretty hard to vote for relatives when you don't know what their personality's like. But now we flesh them out a bit more. I feel like, yeah, yeah, it'd be easy to get some favourites now. Welcome back, Neffel. Is there any one of them that you don't expect to win but kind of wish you would? Oh, you mean the underdog battle sandwich? Well, if I say that, it will end up winning. So, yeah, I have no idea. I'm kind of expecting Beryl to be not very popular. But you never know, she could be. People might like the prude racist character in the game. I feel like people will be more like, find the lovable ones cuter. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. My goodness, one of them's got 6 votes. Whoa. The grandma, is really popular already. That's really interesting. I'm curious why that you're drawn to someone's. I do want to ask chat for who's their favourite and why. I feel like I want to ask that question because it could potentially make some people biased, but at this point I'm not bothered. I'm just curious who everyone's favourite is. You picked 4. Yeah, feel free to vote for as many as you want. If you like all of them, then vote for them all if you want. Also, oops, I forgot to add the note at the end. Now we go. Oh no, I've put it in the middle of the pile. Am I silly or what? Oopsie. There we go. Better. There we go. Oh, someone got rid of the vote for the grandma. She's not as popular anymore. She's still top though. I'm going to zoom in so you can see better. I want to keep this up for a little while so people can see that we're voting on this currently. Dang, no love for the deeply flawed mother. Come on, we're going to have a problematic one to balance out the balance. That's good thinking, Battle Sandwich. It's the tactical vote. And feel free to vote for characters based on the kind of synergy you think they'll have together as a group. Like if you think that mom could go really well with that one, then vote in that way if you like. Don't necessarily vote for the ones that you think just sound the best. Vote for the ones that you think work together well. But vote for the ones you like the most. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. Well, I want to see who are the most popular, but yeah, just vote the way you want, in all honesty. The awkward moment where I'm trying to build support for the racist mom. We'll probably like how she changes her ways. Yeah, she only cares about barrels and nobody else. She don't like that bad boy oil drum that the sister Meryl's dating, that's for sure. Could picture a scene with Beryl being really mean to the bad boy oil drum, or would he? Yeah, exactly. And if you think all these characters will be perfect together, then vote for them. Vote for the ones that you think will work great together. Also, the sister Meryl's very popular as well, I see. This is really interesting. I see that the alcoholics aren't as popular yet. But yeah, this is exactly why I like doing the polls, because sometimes it can surprise you when you see who's the popular ones. But whoever are the popular ones are the ones that deserve their place in the story most, because you guys have proven that you've got attached to them. So they've got to be good. Maybe a voting for them. I'm tied between Woody and Elvira. Yeah, vote for more. That you don't have to vote for just one, but yeah, that's really good that you've got a joint favourite, because that means that there's not just one that stands out. They're all interesting in one way or another. Woody's very adorable, I agree. Somebody's going like crazy for the sister there, I'll say. What are you guys doing? The grandpa's my favourite because I love the idea of a story with a disability being tried into realisation if he can still be useful and helpful. And Fox, that's a really, really good point as well. And I agree. I agree for sure. And for sure, think of like when you think of the character, if you can imagine a really awesome character arc from one of them, I'd love to hear about it for sure, because these barrels will be prominent in the story. I mean, they are the MacGuffin of Raindrop Chronicles, and for a portion of the story we might not see them much because the plot is about finding them. But who knows? We could have more flashbacks with them in where Carol tells us more about them. I could see that happening. Because Carol's searching for them, so obviously we're going to want to find out more about them. Or we could find them and at some point in the story, and you know, they could have their own little character arcs. Oh man, if the dad doesn't get him but the mum does, imagine maybe she's salty and picks something to be angry about as a shield to deflect her feels about losing her hubby. Yeah, and I did like say, if say there's a few that don't get through, they will perhaps play a part in the story at some point. If we have a village where barrels live, for example, they could be there, but they won't be part of Carol's main plot where they went missing and she's searching for them. We'll only have 4 in that, not including her son now. The son is already in the story. So, here we go. Turns out Carol was separated from her barrel companions, including her son. So there's 5 aside from Carol. There'll be 5. I would have loved to have all of them in, like literally the lot of them, but it's just too many for a single flashback, so we have to narrow it down. But I'm definitely not going to think, they're gone for good, they won't be in the story at all, because there'll likely be an opportunity where there'll be a chance for more barrels to come into it, especially if we have a village of them. You know, we're going to have to think of bloody loads of barrel characters if that's the case. The depth, I know, right? So much depth. I'm going to copy and paste some of the stuff you've said, guys, because like I say, I have my notepad file and I like to refer to these because it could give plot ideas. So I'm copying what Glacian said, what Sandwich has said, and what Fox has said about the characters. Because I could just watch my VOD, but sometimes it's hard to find the exact parts of the VOD I need, so it's much easier to do it this way. I voted for 4 that I think could make decent scene. Yay! I picked the last 4. I could also picture them listening to a story from their auntie grandma in a flashback because they are at her Hank's funeral. No, they're not gonna die. Oh my goodness, if they die, especially the adorable Hank, I will cry. But I'm still gonna put that in my note profile. Antique flashback setup, yeah. So it's funny because she is an interesting character, and you'll have to credit Rex for that one, because he was the one that came up with the idea that she insists she's Auntie, but she's actually normal. And I believe it was Hunting Swan that came up with her being antique. So credit to both of those guys. You could always have the ones that are close but don't win as side quest situations. Yeah, I intend to for sure keep those characters in mind, because it feels a shame to miss an opportunity to have these barrels in the story, the ones that don't make the pile, that don't win. But But I'm going to just say they'll make an appearance at some point in the game. They're just not going to be involved in the Carol flashback sequence of the game. Only the 4 winners will be involved in that. And they're going to be the main battle characters. The ones that win will be the prominent ones, because they're the ones that Carol's searching for, and they're ultimately the ones we care about the most. So yeah, the ones you care about the most are the ones that we want to win to top these polls, really. Rose, I have a question. Who's your favourite Disney princess? That's a really hard question. Oh my goodness. That's a hard one. There's a lot of Disney films I haven't seen, so I probably wouldn't be able to give a fair opinion. And I have to admit, a lot of them I watched when I was a kid. So if I watch them now, my opinion could change, because I see the story differently compared to when I was a kid. So, but I'll ask you guys, who's your favourite Disney princess? Because I can't answer that question. I just feel like I don't have enough. I don't remember enough details of the Disney films from when I was a kid. Oh, is this a single scene? I missed that. I still like the idea of one salty character being slightly passive-aggressive throughout the scene. I missed that. I like the idea. Well, it's going to be, the start of it's a single scene. The first time you see them will be a flashback sequence, a scene. But there will very likely be more. This isn't the only time you're going to see these guys, because they're literally the main plot of the story now. If you know the fictional term MacGuffin, if you know what that means, I'm actually going to give it a Google so you know. That's what these guys are. So here it is. In fiction, a MacGuffin is an object, device or event that is necessary to the plot and the motivation of the characters, but insignificant, important and relevant itself. See, I disagree with that bit though, because it doesn't necessarily have to be insignificant. It could be, you know, it doesn't, I want them to be significant anyway. But basically it's something that's necessary to the motivation. It's the motivation for Carol. She wants to find them. So, and I think if we can like get attached to these guys from this one flashback, it's going to be something that keeps people really interested in the game story, because they're going to want to see them. They're going to want to know these barrels are okay, and that, you know, there's a happy ending for them. So yeah. Sorry, latching onto the one-person barrel, just came up with a scheme flavour for them in my head and ran with it. And currently, Little Dim School can't work with one character at a time right now. That's fine. You can just think about the one if you'd like, if there's one that you're particularly drawn to. I mean, if Hank dies, it could be because of his broken barrel. Yeah, and who knows? Who knows where the plot's going to end for these guys? Maybe one of them will tragically die in the storyline somehow. Maybe the others will survive and one will die. You know, that could be something we do, and there will be like a poll for that when the time comes. The fact that they've been fleshed out even a little with amazing personalities with all, it would be a shame if they don't get a chance to shine and tell their little stories in side quests. I agree, Fox. So I don't want anybody here to feel disheartened if some of their favourites don't go through, because I'm very, very certain there will be a little town in the game with more barrels, ones that didn't go missing, that the player and Carol will get to meet, and that will be who they'll be, the ones that didn't get through on the poll. But the 4 that get through are basically the ones that got kidnapped, because some people might be confused. What do you mean kidnapped? So I should probably I'm actually going to write a note here so people see. Read main story. So it's all in the main story channel. It's literally just a paragraph at the start that talks about Carol, that she had some companions that went missing. And that's the flashback bit. The flashback will show us how that all unfolded, how the events unfolded, and that'll be a super fun scene to do together for sure. find out more. I think that's okay. If anybody thinks I need to, if anyone's got any suggestions for wording, feel free to say. I always want to make sure things are clear. So there we go. So if any, because people might wonder who these companions even are, but it's literally here. Literally just this first line. All this stuff afterwards is more about the fruit bosses, which is part of the present time. That will come in after the flashback. So it doesn't really talk much about the Cat Barrel companions other than this particular line here. So we know that they've gone. Carol's lost them and something bad's happened to them. I'm going to say that now. It's not good. They've gone missing. There's illegal activity going on. The barrels aren't at fault. They're being used. The barrels are being used to smuggle stuff, and some faction of people are taking advantage of the barrels, and they're unfortunately going to find themselves in a bad situation, and we're going to want to make sure they're okay. So we're going to want to go and find them. That's the plot. And the barrels that don't get through will be fine. They'll be living happy lives in their barrel village. But the poor barrels that win will be the ones that are the ones that got taken. But they're the prominent barrels. They will be more key than the barrels that are living in the village, for sure. They'll be more main. Mulan. See, I've always wanted to see Mulan. I've watched it once, but I was so young, I don't remember much about it, so I can't say who's my favourite because of that. I was just too young to fully appreciate the storylines. We usually watch a Disney movie over Christmas in our family. I think it was Lion King last year, so that's the most recent one I've watched, but there's no princess in that one. I assume the Carol romance won't be a part of the main story, so if a player does try to romance Carol, that could be the type of side quest that the other barrels show up in. Well, the romancing is going to be a feature in the game, just like in, you know, your Mass Effects, your Dragon Age. What other games have romance features? The Witcher. Like those games, like, you don't have to do it, but it's kind of there as a feature in the game. And Carol will be one of those characters you can romance. So yeah, like I say, it's not the main story romancing Carol, because you get the option. Carol's one of a potential select group of characters that can be romanced, and you might not necessarily want to romance Carol. You might like another character in the game and choose to romance them instead, but ultimately that's why we didn't have a husband for Carol or a wife, you know. I mean, we decided to keep her a single barrel because of the romance aspect of the story. And although I've said Carol does flirt with the hero, because she does, it's part of her character, it doesn't mean the hero's going to be romancing Carol. I feel like the choice is important, and if you as the hero prefer another character in the game, you can choose to romance them instead of Carol instead. But it might make Carol jealous, though. She might have some dialogue where she gets a bit jealous of the hero's romance option. But yeah, guys, if you want to expand on anything you said in chat, because there's been some really interesting things said today, feel free to pop into the general ideas discussion or something, for sure. Just picture the racist barrel at Meryl's wedding with the oil drum. Yeah, and I love these story suggestions. I'm trying to keep a note of as many as possible, so I can refer to them and look back at them. It'll help inspire me, especially when we get potential future storylines and events that happen. So I'm making sure I try and copy and paste them all. But if there's ever anything really long, like you've got a super long paragraphs of ideas to suggest, this is the perfect channel for it here. So yay. But we're getting quite a few votes, guys. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave this poll open. I'm going to actually make a note on when the poll will close. But I'm going to leave it open until the start of tomorrow's stream. So as soon as we've gone live tomorrow, we'll look at the results and we'll say who's won. We'll find out who those top 4 are. because what I want to do tomorrow are assets for the barrels. I actually want to start doing the assets, and we'll know who's won, so we'll really get stuck in with those assets tomorrow. And then on Wednesday I'll probably just move on to something else, just to do something a bit different. And I would really like to have a skill discussion stream for the first boss, probably Wednesday, perhaps, just to do something different. But then we can go back to do the barrels again another time and get the scene started, the flashback scene, because there's a few different things to work on at the moment. There's a flashback scene, there's the actual present day scenes with the fruits, the conversation with them, and the actual battle of the fruits too. And the stuff that happens before the battle encounter too, like the conversation with Carol and Rose and all the banter that they have. And there's going to be quite a few bits of dialogue scenes we're going to have to plan. And we use draw.io to do that. What we'll do is something like this. Here we go. We do like little flow diagrams like this for dialogue, so we'll be probably spending some time doing those sort of things this month before the holidays, for the Carol scenes and for the fruit boss scenes as well, the conversation there. An image of Stitch as a Disney princess in your head and it's making you giggle. Yeah. Oh. They've been thrust into the legal oil trade. Well, it's kind of, you know, there's similarities, but it's basically going to be about the raindrops. I'm going to get a paint document up, chat, of the notes we currently have on our raindrop currency, just so you can find out more about it. I swear I've got them somewhere. Here we go. So there's going to be a bunch of text here. Not that paint document, no. That's the wrong one. Here we go. Ooh, lots of text. It's probably a bit small. You probably can't see it all, damn. So I'm going to have to... We'll have a stream at some point where we get to talk about this more. But Raindrop Liquid Currency is our currency. And again, that's what it's called, Raindrop Chronicles. It's a perfect name for it. And there's probably going to be a lot of corruption, lots of making fake raindrops, lots of smuggling the raindrops to areas they shouldn't be smuggling them to illegally, because really the raindrops it'll probably be a law that they have to be fairly distributed between regions, just to stop poverty and people, you know, like fair distribution. But the fact is, maybe the world is actually not fairly distributed. Maybe it's unfair, and some factions are trying to make it fairer. We'll have to fully decide what will be the most interesting way to handle it, because we haven't really decided the faction behind the barrels yet. But I've got some ideas. I have to have a discussion about all that. But yeah, there's a lot of text here, so there's a lot to read. But that was basically when we did chats about the raindrop currency. I want to go back to the poll now. Also, I've got to catch up with chat. I'm very behind. I'm not too behind. Not too behind. So if you romance someone, do they become a companion of sorts? Well, all the romanceable characters will be key NPCs and playable characters in the game anyway. Carol, Rose. I'm not sure about Rose yet, but she might be romanceable. Who else do we have? They're currently in the game. Not even girls, the guys, girls. You know, they won't be like you know, you won't be limited just because you're a male custom hero to romance the females. You can be a boy. You can be a girl and romance Carol the Barrel as well, for example. So we won't put that. We won't limit it like that. But some of these characters on this list will probably be romanceable, and not just the community characters either, but oh sorry, I'm actually not showing you the right thing. Some of these characters on this list might be romanceable, but Some might not be. We'll have to like decide which ones all fit for being romanceable, because I'm not sure if the big bad villain should be romanceable, but some of them will be great choice for romanceable characters, and others, you know, it doesn't necessarily have to be just community characters. It can be general NPCs we create, just like Carol the Barrel. She was a character we all create together. Maybe there'll be more charming NPCs we make in the future, very likely, because there's going to be a lot of characters in this game, and they'll be romanceable too. So yeah, it's very much just early ideas with the romance system, because we haven't implemented it yet, and it probably won't be introduced in episode 1 either. It's probably in episode 2 maybe the romance system will be introduced, but it's not going to be something that's immediately introduced in the game, because there's an actual character that's going to unlock it, Kindle Trash's character. So it'll be whenever she appears in the game that it's unlocked. But, you know, some dialogue options that happen beforehand could affect how it all works when it's unlocked, if you know what I mean. Like, it could have already been, there might already be some decisions that were made for who you're bonding with at the time that the romance system's unlocked. So maybe you'll already see that you and Carol are really getting on, and by that point, well, maybe you don't, we'll say, because there's going to be a lot of dialogue options in this game. Hi Andy Cake, who you doing? Who wouldn't romance Carol? I know, right, Dava? Would you guys romance Carol then, or would you be looking to romance another character in the game? I'm curious. For me, the barrels are evil, because I remember watching PewDiePie and his barrels. Now they're lovely. This game will make you love the barrels, Neffel. Tomorrow's stream, Park. How are you doing, Andy Cake? Will there be some sort of black market currency or a weird character specific currency? See, we've definitely got to flesh it out, guys. At some point we'll have a currency chat stream, a currency world building stream, and we'll flesh out ideas even more, and we'll see what we can come up with. But if there's anything that at all that you think could be cool, general ideas discussion is the place, because I do love to read ideas even off stream. Actually, off stream is better for the big long suggestions anyway. So for sure. How much dialogue are you going to put in this game? Oh, it'll be dialogue heavy. RPGs generally are. And this game is very much an adventure, epic RPG. So it will be quite dialogue heavy for sure. And especially because there's lots of branching paths as well. So there'll be a lot. It'll be quite a lot there. But I have fun doing that. Personally, that's one of my favourite parts of this. I prefer doing that to the skill and math stuff, just because I enjoy that more and I'm better at it. I suck at numbers. Can you romance the evil Prime Minister? Yeah, that's the thing. It's probably unlikely that's going to happen, but who knows? Well, at some point we'll probably have a vote on which characters people are like to romance, and whoever ends up being picked will end up being the ones we select as romanceable options. That's probably what we'll do when the time comes, when we've got a bit of a larger cast. We'll probably, and when we implement the romance system, we'll probably do a poll about that. I want to romance the moustache. We'll see if that ends up happening. If we do a poll and you guys want to romance the evil Prime Minister and he ends up a super popular choice, I will make him a romance option. I'm going to just go with what people generally like, because if people are inclined to want to romance him, then it would be foolish not to make that an option. But it's hard to say for sure at this point if he will be, because we don't know what his story arc's going to be. He might get killed off, but you know, we could romance a character that gets killed off. What's wrong with that? Mass Effect did that. So come to that, and they don't have to be an ally. They can totally be an antagonist that we romance, right? What do you guys think? I'm intrigued with what you think as well. Your pun powers are over 9k. Oh my gosh, then you moustached yourself so bad you want it. Oh, we got moustache puns. I encourage it. I want to see those moustache puns. To be honest, Rose, I not romance Rose on my first playthrough. I'd go for a guy romance option, but on a subsequent playthrough, I feel like I would definitely want to romance Carol, since I would already know so much about her from playing the game once through. That's a good way to see it, actually, Zexy. Sometimes you want to play the game through once to get to know the character, and then you pick them on the second one. And that is goals with Raindrop Chronicles. I want to have that replayability factor with it. I want people to want to play again when they've completed it once. And I feel like the morality system we've got and the romance system will encourage people to do a second playthrough or even a third, because I don't know if some of you guys here know about our morality system. Some of you might not, but we have discussed it quite a bit in previous streams. There's 3 traits: compassion, bravery, and wisdom. And your custom hero, throughout the story, the decisions they make there's a scale for each of those 3, and you'll fall somewhere on those scales. So you can either be a really compassionate, cowardly, clever person, or a very selfish, brave, dumb person. It could be any combination, but each of those 3 different traits will have our own separate scale. So there's a potential range of custom heroes that could be molded there. And even this early on in the game, the very first quest with Fiona Buckington, the little girl that gives us the quest to sacrifice Rose, you have the option as the hero to push her in the lake. You have the option to be nice to her and be honest, or you have the option to literally push her in the lake. And if you do that, she gets really mad at you and you'll lose compassion points. If you have a look in our dialogue discussion channel, you might see how that kind of works, because I've kind of labelled it green for what if you gain compassion, bravery, or wisdom, or if you lose it. So this is for if you pushed her in the lake, and this is if you didn't push her in the lake. So the dialogue differs a bit, and we've already implemented this in the game. So yeah, there's also a choice that can affect your bravery and wisdom as well. It all depends what you pick. I like it. And where's one of our previous ones? Yeah, here's our previous one when you actually push her in the lake. Yeah, if you push her in the lake, you get -5 compassion. So yeah, certain events you might lose even more, like -10, if it involves the destruction of a village or something, or anything that's really big a deal, you'll lose way more. Like if you were responsible for that and you was a real asshole about it, then you will lose a lot. But if it's just small things like little bits of dialogue, it'll just be 1 or 2 points. If it's actions, it'll generally be more. So yeah, and we've said we want your personality to affect the world around you. Certain quests will be open to you based on your personality, and some will be closed off to you. Certain quest lines might only be open if you're a real heartless person, and certain quests might only be open to you if you're really good or very brave or very wise or something. So that'll have the whole replayability factor as well, because the first time you play through, you might not have been able to do a certain quest line which you might have wanted to do. So yeah, there's a lot, and I want to try and make it definitely replayable. That's a goal for me for sure. And let's catch up with chat. But I love that you want to romance Carol. That's so awesome. I forgot how to make a character. Glaceon. So I'll give you the command Glaceon project. Click on our link tree there, and it's the very first link, the one that says information and FAQ. Click on that one and it'll be right there. It'll give you the links to the form on that particular page. You have the choice whether you want to be a playable character or an NPC. The major NPCs are generally the antagonists or adventurers that help you, your allies, and minor NPCs tend to be the townspeople. So if you want to be a merchant or a villager or an innkeeper or a sort of barkeeper or anything along those lines, if you're confined to a particular town, rather than being an adventurer, you'll probably be a minor NPC. But if you're one of those people that could be anywhere in the world, then you might have a bigger part in the story and you'd probably be an ally or something. But some people like to be the antagonists. Then that seems like we've got another antagonist coming up shortly as well. On our Trello page, we've got one of these antagonists. So we'll have another, and I'm excited to do the character sheet. If you romance a character that dies, do you get to romance another, or must you mourn forever? Well, that all this sort is still open, guys. There's a lot of decisions in this game that aren't set in stone, and things will be changed, of course, over the course of the game's development. It's an episodic game. I do want to make sure that for episode 1 that, you know, things are kind of set in stone in terms of how it looks, like UI, how the battle system looks, how the menu works. I want to kind of make sure that's set in stone. So, because I don't want to end up having a really inconsistent looking game. I don't want episode 1 to look really different to episode 2. That would be lame. So definitely those sort of things I want to make sure are set in stone early. But things like the romance system, that will be flexible. Especially because it's not going to be implemented until possibly episode 2 anyway, so it gives us a bit more time to think about that one for sure. Oof, voice to text failed me. I meant I'd not. Oh really, you wouldn't romance Carol? Well, you know, that doesn't disappoint me either, Zaxi, because I wouldn't want everybody to romance Carol. It's interesting to see that some people would want to romance different types of characters for sure. I don't want Carol to be only everyone to only care about her, but feel free to give ideas, like suggestions for romanceable characters. If there's anyone particularly on this list that you think, oh, I'd romance them, then feel free to say for sure, because I want to know who is the ones that are really appealing. That the ones that could be a potential, because we don't want to make someone romanceable if no one's going to romance them. We want to have the most popular, but we'll definitely have a poll when the time comes anyway. I lean towards mourn forever to avoid people trying to get their romance partners killed to free up the romance. Like, yeah, and the killing off thing is an interesting concept to think about as well, because some of you might know I'm banning the killing off of major characters until endgame. I'll probably allow killing off to happen when we get to the final episode, but yeah, so we'll say. But minor, like, characters that aren't really key can die, but they might not be romanceable, you know what I mean? Probably only have the like either community characters be romanceable or major created NPCs like Carol the Barrel or someone, and there'll be others. There'll be so many. I mean, we're only in the very first part of the game. There's going to be so many more characters that get introduced, but it's probably going to have to be people that aren't confined to a town, because it's say if like there's an innkeeper of Everbloom Forest, they probably won't be. Well, they might be romanceable because we'll have a fast travel system or something. So, you know, at the same time, I might not prevent that happening either. We'll see. Because I don't even have a number in mind of how many will be romanceable yet either. Maybe there'll be 10. Maybe there'll be 50. We don't want to make it too impossible, but we'll see. We'll see. You need to set up a system where if you're romancing or attempting to with too many characters, they find out and all hell breaks loose. I agree, Fox, because that's what The Witcher did. If you romanced both Triss and Yennefer, you would get in trouble for it, and I thought that was really cool. And I'm very much an advocate for being faithful, so yeah, let's have that for sure. Kingmaker has hidden romance route for main villain. If I remember correctly, it's rather tragic. So if people do want to have the moustache man be romanceable, it could be a bittersweet thing. Oh, really? So a game's done it before then, Kingmaker Pathfinder. So it's actually a secret romance. It's not one of the official ones then. They keep it like really secret. But see, this is something you'll have to ask Elite what he thinks, because I want to give people, because these are community characters, I feel like they have to give permission for whether they should be romanceable or not. It might be, I feel like might be invading on people's boundaries if I just make them romanceable without permission. So I'm gonna, that will be up to Elite most of all. He'll get the final say, and same for anybody else as well. We'll say, because Elite kind of knows where his character's gonna go as well, and he might be like, it's impossible for mine to be romanceable because this and this, but maybe there is a possibility for him to be. It's only him who knows. It's hard to be heartless for you. Yeah, it's hard for me as well. I'm going to be a good guy in this game. I don't know if I'm going to be playing a female or male custom hero yet. I haven't decided, because I kind of play as Jesus at the moment, but he might not be the one to go with for good when I have a proper playthrough. I might make some new other type of hero. We'll see. But I'll definitely be good. I might play a bad one on my second playthrough though. Antagonists like Rex. Well, Rex is an interesting antagonist because I'm wondering if I should say it now. I feel like I should, because me and Rex were having a conversation the other day, and it's very, very likely that Rex is going to be an antagonist that has a sort of, I don't know if redemption arc's the word, but he's going to see things differently, or things will change in his character arc and he might not always remain bad. There might even be the possibility of him joining the party as a playable character, an optional playable character, mid to end game. That's kind of been discussed, because we do have a lot of slots open for playable characters. We've only actually got, well, we got 6 at the moment, but we'll have 8 soon, because we've got another 2 coming up. But honestly, we've got a lot of slots open for playable characters. So I've said, yeah, if you want to do that, Rex, you can. You can be a bad guy that turns good. I think that would be an interesting character arc, especially because he's a reptile, and they're generally an oppressed and misunderstood race. So I kind of like that one of them, or even them as a faction in general, could actually not end up being the main villains. They start off that way, but over the course of the story things change. I'm always a fan of that kind of plot anyway, because things aren't always simple with villains. Hi Karen, how are you doing? It's good to see you. Hope you're doing well. I feel like Carol would give people splinters. See, if people love her enough, people will put up with those splinters, wouldn't they, if they loved Carol enough when they kiss her. She poor Carol, she's got to be romanced, hasn't she? But, yeah, I'd romance Carol. I would romance Carol a second playthrough, but voice to text put I wouldn't romance Carol. Oh, right. Okay, sexy. No worries. No worries at all. But yeah, you guys romance whoever you want. And feel free to tell me if there's any characters that you would like to romance. Because at the moment, I'm thinking Carol, Rose, possibly romanceable character options. I mean, I wasn't even sure if I was going to put myself up as a romanceable character. But I think Rose could work as one, because she's very interesting. She doesn't speak. But if anybody thinks Rose shouldn't be a romanceable character, let me know. Or if you should. I'm intrigued on people's opinions with my character, because I'm neutral about it. I'm neutral about whether she should be romanceable or not. You could make a player home that is customizable, and so certain NPCs could move in. Yeah, what games do that? Was that like Skyrim did that, where you could have your own home, didn't they? Because I like that kind of thing, or even a village where that gets populated. But funny enough, like that might be possible. I have to look how flexible RPG Maker can be with that kind of thing, but it's an interesting thing to consider. It adds like a certain level of another very interesting RPG element to the game. But we'll see how, we'll have to look in to see what's possible. But I don't see why it wouldn't be. It shouldn't be too hard to implement. Fable did it. Yeah, I really want to take those Western RPG elements for this game. I know, like, stylistically it's very much a JRPG and mechanic wise with the battles, but it definitely with the quest journal system and the morals and all that kind of stuff, we're really following a sort of Western style game RPG. Hope everything's going well with you. Yeah, Cone, it's going fab. It's good to see you. I hope life's been well. Hope it's been going well for you. Who knows? Only time to tell. Yeah, who knows? But yeah, look at how our poll's getting on. Look at how our poll's getting on. Who is top so far? Should we have a look? So we can look at it. I can look at it in this order. We do have a top 4 at the moment. I've still got to vote myself though. So I'm really intrigued to see who tops it. We're waiting until tomorrow. I'm going to put a note here to say when it's going to close, so people know. What's the date tomorrow? The 3rd. On Tuesday, 3rd December at 3 PM. No, yeah, 3 PM, because that's when my starting soon screen's finished. Is it CST and PST? Oh, it's not PM, it's AM. I think I got those right. Just so peeps know. Nobody likes the drunks. But that could easily change. It's only been open an hour or so. Things could change drastically by tomorrow when we get the results. I'm right, yay, I'm right. I got it right. Raindrops, oh my goodness, Sexy, you're getting them. You're getting them, and you've got double points as well because you got gifted a sub by True Baldy. I like that comment. Welcome to Discord Art. Oh my goodness, Master Emerald, thank you so much for that raid. How was your stream? How did it go? Hope it went wonderfully. You were doing some game dev today? How did that go? I hope it all went smoothly. Oh my goodness me. Well, it looks like Meryl and Elvira are ridiculously popular. My goodness, we need a boy in the gang. Because we need a boy to level things out. But the son's a boy, so. But we've got, it looks like the brother and Woody are kind of coming up after them. Oh, I want Hank in it. Oh my goodness. I'm going to admit it, my favourite's Hank. My favourite's Hank, and he's just narrowly missing. Oh, actually, he's really missing it but Beryl the Barrel is coming up. He's coming next. My goodness me. Oh no. I shouldn't have said, because there's going to be bias now with Hank, but I want people to vote for who they want to vote for. I want the genuine ones at the top. And maybe Hank isn't as good as I'm imagining him to be. Maybe I'm just like, you know, I idealising him. Pretty good. Got some conversation trees sorted. Oh, cool. I want to see your approach the conversation trees, Master Emerald. I'm going to watch you VOD because I'm curious. See, the last 4 are your favourite, are they? Well, they are winning, so... Well, they're not because Beryl's joined. So, things are still very close at the moment. So, yeah, we need more votes, but we're going to get more. We're going to get more before the next stream. I think Hank would make the perfect side quest if you find a way to convince him he's useful. Or if you're being evil, convince him he's a waste of wood. Oh no! You mean waste of wood? Oh, poor Hank. But yes, it's not like if Hank doesn't get through, it's not like he's not going to be in the game. Because I have promised that they'll make an appearance. They'll just not be in the actual flashback. They'll be in another part of the story. They'll be like a separate part of it all. So, they did. If we make a character, we're allowed to be the same class as another PC NPC. Oh, you mean if you're a playable character? No. I should probably make that a rule. No, that's somewhere actually, but it's actually not possible to be. Because if you fill in the form, I manually remove classes that have already been taken. So they're no longer even in the form to be. For example, Master Emerald is an illusionist. She filled in her form recently. So, as soon as I saw that she picked illusionist, I removed illusionist from the options. So that is one thing. You will get classes be taken over time. So if you want more choice, you are better to do it earlier, so you get more options. But I just want you to know that if you do think of any classes that aren't there, you can suggest some for me. If there's any that you feel could fit in the game that aren't there. I mean, Druid never used to be there, and then White said to me that Druid could be one that I had, and I did, and then White picked it for his character. So that was great for him, because White got the Druid he wanted to be. And that was originally a class I never added. So I'm sure there's other classes that are really unique that I haven't added. So I'm definitely up for adding more. If they're not too similar to the ones that are already there. If you convince Hank is useful and you're romancing Carol, maybe he walks Carol down the aisle. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's so cute. I'm gonna say all these because I know they're just ideas that we're just talking about right now, but you never know. You never know if it's gonna come in as a thing. So I'm always gonna make it a habit to note these down. Illusionist is still in the second class. Oh right, okay. So it's not in the first, but it's in the second. I see. So I did remove it from the first, but I didn't remove it from the second. I see. I completely forgot about that. I only have the second option there. The reason I have it there is because in case two people create a character sheet at the same time, and just by some unlucky random chance they've picked the same class, and then they would have to be the second option then. But the chances of that happening are unlikely, and most of the time people will get their first class. It's only if, like, you know, it's just been taken that they wouldn't. So there's a few that shouldn't be here actually. Illusionist, and obviously some of these were already, either I decided to get rid of them because they were too similar to other ones, or I've had people come to me and message me and say that that, like Rex, he might be an optional playable character. He says if he is, he's going to be a cleric, and it's going to fit in with his character quite well. Actually, I've spoiled it now. Bad guy's a cleric. But it's important you all know anyway, because you're going to wonder otherwise why that cleric option isn't available. And it's because of that. But we do still have other healers. We have a priest up for grabs. And like I said, I'm not going to be mean. If somebody has a class in mind that isn't on here, and you can suggest it and I will add it to the... If it sounds like reasonable enough to implement and it's pretty cool, I will add it to the... I mean, somebody... I think Time Manipulator and Puppet Master and Necromancer were ones that were suggested by the community, and I added them because I thought, yeah, why not? That will be cool. So, because over time these will gradually get taken, you know, as we get more people who want to be a character. This list will get smaller and smaller. But I feel like there's a lot of choice here. There's a lot of choice. But the only reason we don't allow 2-player characters of the same class is just simply because it's just the way the battle system works. Everybody's specialised with their own class. Like, there's no multi-classing in our game, and it makes the characterisation more unique that they have their own. So you can, like, for example, be a non-playable character and one of these though. For example, Kung's character is a hunter, but she's a non-playable character, so she couldn't be a hunter if she was a playable character, because that's already taken. But there's no harm in her being a normal non-playable character that's an NPC that's that class. So hopefully that clarifies things a bit. Illusionist was picked because I was playing Guild Wars and was in a mesmer mood. That's awesome. I think it's a really fascinating class, and I'm really glad you picked it, because it'll be really fun to have in the game, I think. And whenever your character does get introduced in the story, Master Emerald, that'll be when we start doing the skill tree for that one. But sorry, there was just some shouting going on, random yelling in the house, and it distracted me. It makes sense, Rose. I just noticed that Diplomat was off the list, and I sort of assumed it was because we have one already, but wanted to double check. Awesome, yeah, awesome. So, like I say, I'm just going to say now just in case, but say, even if this isn't the case, if you wanted to be a diplomat and you're a bit bummed that you can't be because it's taken, feel free to think of other class names that are similar or could work in a similar style to Diplomat, and I wouldn't refuse adding them to this list, as long as they're distinct from Diplomat, because I do want all the classes to be unique and not share the same kind of skills too closely. But there's nothing wrong with having similar classes. I mean, Cleric and Priest, for example, are both healing types, but they'll differ in a lot of ways too. Berserker and Warrior as well, because they're kind of similar, but they're also a bit different. And who else have we got that's similar? I suppose something like Psychic and Gambler would be similar, but they're also very different too. So you know what I mean? That if they've got like something unique about the mechanic, then I'll be like, yeah, that's a cool one. But yeah, we've got 18 now, so that is quite a bit. But as the list gets smaller and smaller, I'll probably be more thinking, guys, let's think of some more, because I'm going to want to kind of keep these. I don't want to make the list too small, because then when in the future people will have less choice. But you know, not all of these are going to end up in the game probably, because we'd have to have people going crazy and get hitting 500 raindrops every single, like, all the time, and then they'd get taken up. Yeah, but we'll see. Okay, what's the time? Oh my goodness, it's time to end stream. What's going on? How is it the end of the stream already? That's crazy. Everybody, I'm going to just remind you again, we've got a poll here. Sorry if you can hear a bit of noise in the background at the moment. There's a lot of noise going on in the house, but sometimes my mic doesn't pick it up, so it's all good. So there's the Discord if you want to join and get a vote in. It's in the polls channel. And this is staying open until the start of tomorrow's stream, and we'll see the results tomorrow. We'll know who's won, and we'll make some assets. We'll make some assets tomorrow. And that'll be super cute. We'll get some cute barrels. And then Wednesday we'll probably move on to onto the fruit gang. We'll think of some skill mechanics for them. Have you got your Christmas decorations up yet? No, we haven't. We're not going to put them up until next weekend. Everyone's been super busy here. We just don't have the time. Super busy. But yeah. So we're a late one this year. Usually we get them up quite early. Have you guys got your decorations up yet? Alrighty. So I see that there's some very popular ones, but this might change. I know I'm going to be staring at this poll all night, because I'm going to be curious. But I'm going to pass this on to somebody else. Chat, we're going to go raid somebody, so I'm going to go get Twitch up. Who wants to come and say hi to somebody for me? Rose Ray Blood with an emote of your choice, everybody. Thank you for streaming. It's been wonderful to catch you again, even if briefly. Yeah, Clone, it's always a pleasure. It was a pleasure seeing you pop in. And I hope your day goes well, everybody. It goes awesomely. I've not put any up, as with the puppy. I don't want to risk him eating them. Oh yeah, that makes sense, totally. And we've got cats this year, temporarily staying over, so that's been a worry as well, because they're wild. They will probably knock over everything. Okay, so I'm going to pick 2 games, everybody, and you're going to tell me which one you want to see out of all these. So, Pokemon, Sword and Shield, or Getting Over It? Which one do you want to see? And we will go raid that streamer. I will just pick whatever gets mentioned in chat now, and we'll go for that one. Whoever first says the one. Otherwise I'll pick. Pokemon, Fox says. Okay, so it's looking like we're going to be going for Pokemon then. Pokemon. Oh, yeah, we've definitely got Pokemon then. We've got 2 votes for Pokemon. So I'm going to go say hi to Cafeella then. So some of you might know her. She's like the Pokemon master, I believe. So let's go say hi. So I will see you guys tomorrow, and we'll see who wins the poll. Thanks for hanging out and being amazing. I appreciate you all.